talking about UHF. So did you find that article because of me, or had you already read it?
Because of you.
You know how I found it? It's because I follow Weird Al on Facebook.
I do that too, but I just saw yours was at the top of my feed.
Well, I also wanted to throw it out there because it was one of those like litmus test ones to see which of my friends. It was fun, like seeing some of my friends from high school liking it and stuff. Not that I realize not everyone sees every post, so I'm not like, oh, I don't want to talk to people who don't like it.
Today was a good day. I found that's so nuts. Shelf Factory is amazing. The fact that they're going to be releasing the Decline of Western Civilization documentary series, because that's like a rights nightmare.
Really?
Because it's these documentaries of Penelope Spheres. Have you seen any of them? Mm-hmm. Well, the Metal Years one is like infamous. Okay. Because it's like the height of 80s like glam metal, and there's this scene with like, oh, I forgot his name. One of these metal dudes. He's like he's in the pool at the hotel at Chateau Marmont with his mom, and he's just like beyond drunk, and it's like the most depressing thing you'll ever see in your life. Wow. And like there's a shot like Paul Stanley's like in bed with like 5 women, and it's just like it's ridiculous. It's just a perfect portrayal of that era. Like it's the beyond, but because of all the rights and like the music and everything. Right. And the first one is about like punk in the 80s, and like it's like the punk rock documentary. I've never actually seen the third one. I think it's like the aftermath, like all like I think she followed around like homeless punk rock kids and stuff. Okay. And this is the same woman that directed Wayne's World. Right. And so like again with all the music rights, these have only been I don't even know if they were official, like because she took them to festivals and stuff. But like every video is like it's like bootleg videos and stuff, and like I think there was a couple official VHS releases, but like not really. So this is like the first time ever on DVD, and they're completely intact. That's Shout cool. Factory, man. Shout Factory. So I might actually buy those because really.
Where else are you gonna see it?
I haven't watched them since high school. Well, I remember I've seen the metal one because they've shown them on TV before. Right. But again, like the Metal Years one is nuts. Huh. And then the first one though, that's like it's like one of the iconic. If you want to know what like punk rock was in the late 70s, early 80s, like it's the one, at least for me.
Okay, speaking of
about a lot of bands.
Bootleg stuff. Do you remember this? Brought me back to Harmontown. Were you there when we watched Heat Vision and Jack?
No, but I've seen it.
And where did we... Okay. I feel like maybe we got... It was like a VHS bootleg. Maybe we got it from Wignall.
Well, I think that was going around...
Well, because it was around the same time when we were watching Ben Stiller show tapes from him.
It's on YouTube.
Well, now, I know. But I mean, back then...
But back then, yeah. I remember... I'm
trying to remember where I
You had it... Because I think you had it from Wignall because it was the same set of tapes. Wasn't it on the tapes?
It might have been on the tapes
the Ben Stiller show. Because I guess it was pre-DVD days, so I know I watched it with you, but I know I saw it somewhere else. Where did I see it?
Because Janelle was like, "What is this show?" Like,
I went to because when Dan Harmon when they were doing those, was it Channel 101? Oh. Well, he was doing the things at the Cinespace. Okay. And I went to one, and they showed the pilot there, and they showed a bunch of. It was like when it was like a big competition. He had this whole thing for years where they were like him and Rob Straub, a bunch of other people. Huh. And he was like, they had all these series, and the people would vote on them. And then at the thing, while they were doing the judging, we watched the Heat Vision. It's the greatest thing in the world, and it makes you like hate. Yeah. Yeah. And also, it's like that's why I knew who Dan Harmon was.
Right. Well, it's funny because I didn't make the connection back until like later on. Like, oh, okay. Because Sarah Silverman show. What else did he do? Anything else?
Sarah Silverman show was like their first. I mean, they've been doing web videvideos, and that's how Sarah Silverman found out about them. Right. And that was like their first thing.
That was it, right? I mean, he's been trying. Obviously.
Heat Vision and Jack. Because I think Ben Stiller saw some of the Channel 101 videos. Like these were like huge in like the late '90s, early 2000s.
And then Sarah Silverman. That was a great bit when she was like, "I'm his biggest fan, and I fired him." Like.
If that doesn't explain...
Yeah, that totally sums it up.
Yeah. Gosh.
So is New Community good?
Oh my gosh, dude. Yes. It's so good. And like the Paget Brewster is great, and what's the guy's name? I guess he's like a Pierce replacement.
Is there another
there's
one?
Another one, yeah.
Another Pierce?
Oh, he's like the big voiceover
Pierce
guy.
3.0?
Well, anyways, I forgot his name, but he's great. It's nice having, like, I just, like, season 3, like, or season 4 had ruined Chang so much that it's great to, like, season 5 kind of, but this especially, like, Dan Harmon Chang, I'm like, oh, this is an actual character,
right.
like, and
what they
Keith David, that's the replacement. Here's his name. You probably don't know him by name, but as soon as you see him, you're like, oh, that guy. He's one of that guys. He's a classic guy.
I gotta look and see.
He's also a huge voiceover guy. He's like right behind like Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones. Yeah, but he's funny. He plays like this. They have this whole episode where it's like 1990s virtual reality. So Keith David's like the guy that invented the virtual reality thing, and he's like living in a trailer, and he ends up at Greendale. And I can't believe you haven't watched any of it. It's so good.
Well, again, I made the call to do Harmontown first.
Yeah.
Partly because I was able to watch it on my TV really easy.
Do you have a Yahoo Screen app on your smart TV?
I don't know.
I would check that. I use it on. I don't have it on my TV, but I have it on the 360. So that's how I watch it.
I have to look and see. There's a ton of them on there, so it's very possible. But I didn't have to make any effort to watch Harmontown, so.
Yeah. So it's really funny.
I can watch it on my computer if I have to. I mean, it's nothing of the world.
It's really funny. It's so funny. And I love it.
Let's see.
So
give me Keith David. Come on. It's loading really slow. Oh,
that
something
guy.
About Mary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
he's the Beans of the Frank guy. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, amongst many.
So yeah, I would say he's a replacement Pierce. I mean.
Okay. Frank and beans. How'd you get the beans, Brother Frank? Well, okay, this was an interesting thing on the UHF article. Their whole discussion about Cooney and whether that character could work.
Oh yeah, that was like. Well, I liked how passionate like the guy was defending, because I agree with almost everything he was saying.
Yeah, I think
so. But then
like,
I'm also like, it's still really like, but he's right, like anything now, and that's the problem with today is no matter what you do, there's going to be a pocket of people that are offended, and because of the internet, they're going to have a voice.
Right.
And that's why everything is kind of terrible now, but it's also It's also great. So
it is, but it has a double-edged sword.
But then the fact that even he was like, look, like
it
works now, and at the time I could see that the only reason why he thought it was offensive is because there was no counter point to that. Those were some of the only. He was one of the only guys. Like he's like, now I feel like even more so we could do it because there's like, it's not just this. We got lots of represented. Like I liked he seems like a really cool guy. Like he seems like because some of those I was just worried that he'd be like, oh I hated doing that.
Right.
But like
people made me do it or something. But no. Well, and I mean that one in particular, because he almost seemed a little. I mean, he kind of hinted around the 16.
Yeah, he was saying that was a little, but even that he still is like proud of. But he's like, if you're going after anything, come on.
Yeah, like that's where you're looking, because in UHF he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's like a host of a TV show. He's not. Although it is a caricature, it's used positively. You know, so it's
also it's funny.
It's hilarious. It is.
I love I love that story they told about the UHF station in Tulsa, and that they had a whole big ceremony and they dedicated the supplies closet.
That was so great.
UHF.
Well, and then who was it? Another one. I think this was Weird Al and the director like conflicting, because he said, at the time, like no one even knew what a UHF station was. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like
it was in '89.
People knew then. Yeah, that was a thing still. You never said that at the time. Anyway, great article.
But I mean, it was on its way out.
Yeah, but still, it was something that people knew of.
Yeah,
even if
and also. And also, like when you got older, you realize like, oh, there is some like really crazy, especially if you lived in a major metropolitan area where you could get like. It's like, yeah, I remember watching some weird stuff.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of, I mean, by the time we were watching, what's his name? It's the guy that yells at everybody.
Oh, yeah, like Wally George.
Wally George. I mean, we were watching, I don't think it was UHF.
That was like on public access.
But that's the kind of thing that was on UHF when that was more of a thing.
Yeah.
So.
Because there were a lot more independent television stations.
Right.
And they would just have their own crazy formats.
Yeah.
Like there was one in San Diego, like they played some movies that were like right on the edge of like broadcasts. Like I just remember seeing like, because that's where I saw like that Killbots movie.
Killbots?
Well, it was called Killbots, but Chopping Mall.
Oh, your cousin yeah.
But you have to watch it.
I forgot. Well, because it's by multiple names.
So there was it was Killbots when we saw it, but like the most popular title is Chopping Mall. Right. But yeah, there was a station in San Diego that just kind of played whatever, and like I don't think that movie's suitable for TV, but they played it.
They played it anyway. Because who was watching? I mean, I wish
because we were all latchkey kids, no parent supervision. We didn't have cable at the time, so like. But that UHF dial, that was like a kid.
That's true.
Like once it went to like I Love Lucy. I mean, now I appreciate Lucy, but as a kid, that was like the bane of your existence.
Because it was on all the time.
Yeah. And
when they ran out of something to put on.
Like I just remember, like I feel like after 10 a.m., like that's all KTLA played.
Yeah.
And like some of those other channels, and so, but yeah, like that was when you could, after Price is Right, you could venture onto the UHF and maybe find some weird,
good to watch.
some weird thing,
yeah.
Or you could get like another, like because there was multiple PBS stations depending on where you lived, and maybe one of them was playing like something cool, like Monty Python or something,
or even like Perot. Those are pretty good if you had.
I just remember my grandma. I've told this many times, but she wouldn't let me watch Monty Python. And instead, we watched like the boring BBC shows, like the one about the veterinarian guy.
Yeah.
I feel like half of them are about a veterinarian right. in the country.
Yeah.
Those like old people BBC comedies that aren't even like, they're not worthwhile.
No. Just BBC does a lot of great stuff, but not everything.
Well, it's like edit television.
TV, right?
There is a lot of garbage. But the thing is, they're like the seasons are less. So, but that's the other problem is since there's fewer episodes, I feel like I've watched.
They just show them over and over again. Yeah.
So I feel like I watched way too many. But we would watch Doctor Who, and that was like Tom Baker.
Right.
Classic.
I still don't. I mean, I don't know how Monty Python wound up being on PBS. A bunch, but like, oh my gosh, am I thankful
they had a deal with the BBC where.
But I mean, like, it's by far and above the best thing they showed at
the time. How
I got to see.
That's how I think that's how any Americans.
I mean, that was it. We had a VHS that I rented over and over again of Holy Grail from our video store.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, it was just watching on PBS. Like that was it. When I finally got to buy the DVD, VHS tapes.
Yeah, because you had the VHS tapes.
I've bought that collection like 8 times by
well,
now. Because first they just had the little volumes.
They go after people like you who bought every one.
Then they release it, and they do the whole box set again, but they put like
one
little documentary and like deleted sketches. I gotta buy the whole thing again now. And then I sell it off and buy it again. I don't know how many times I've bought that collection.
Like. Cleese or somebody has like just a pile of deleted sketches solely for the purpose where like whenever they need some money,
he's like
all right, we got one more.
I want to get a yacht.
All right, we got 10 more deleted sketches left.
We got that one outtake.
We got to ration these.
In the middle
we got to ration these out. You know about the new Terry Jones movie?
Yes, but you have to refresh my memory.
Terry Jones is making a movie. The cast is nuts, and it's got a full Python reunion.
Right. But I can't remember what it is though.
I
don't know. I mean, I remember hearing about it.
I just know it's coming out this year, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I don't know. I'm always like, how are they still? They're old dudes. They're still doing it.
John Cleese is what, in his 80s?
I feel like they're all in their like.
Well, he's the oldest of them.
So he's. Well, let's look at that first.
Because he was like one of the...
Oh, yeah. How old is that? 39.
So
come on, math boy.
61, 71, 76.
Okay, so he's getting there.
So yeah.
But what were we doing? Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Nia Vardalos is in a movie called Helicopter Mom.
What?
Nia Vardalos is in a movie called Helicopter Mom.
Oh my gosh.
What happened to her? Poor
Aren't
Nia Vardalos.
Aren't they talking about doing a sequel to My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Like, isn't that happening?
Probably. She's been.
So he's.
Yeah, they're all close up there, but
70s.
He's a little bit older.
Oh, this is what?
That's
it's gotta be this.
Absolutely.
Oh wait, this is actor.
Writer.
Jeez.
Producer.
Terry.
Director. Absolutely anything.
So what is this? A group of eccentric aliens confer a human being with power to do absolutely anything as an experiment.
It's amazing. Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, this is like it's the last thing that
Robin Williams
did. Kate Beckinsale, Simon Pegg, Eddie Izzard,
Terry Gilliam,
Rob Riggle, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Michael Jones. I don't know who any of these other people are, but still, look at that.
Brian Cox.
As himself.
Marty McFly, time traveler? What?
What if they got Michael J. Fox?
That'd be amazing. I mean, already that's an incredible.
Directed by Terry Jones, and let's see who this guy is. So written by Gavin Scott and Terry Jones. Gavin Scott wrote.
Young Indiana Jones.
Didn't really write anything. Who is this guy?
Yeah, he did a bunch of Young Indiana Jones. Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers. The Borrowers.
Small Soldiers was very disappointing after, for whatever reason, I had good thoughts about it. I mean, going into it, I love Toy Soldiers so much, so I'm like, oh, it's like, I don't know. I realize they're completely unrelated, but I just had like this, goodwill going in, and it was terrible. But you remember who really liked it? Someone we knew really liked it. It was their favorite movie, and we made fun of
Arbenz.
Steve Arbenz.
Yeah.
Steve Arbenz.
That was like the toe-picking night because he was watching it.
That's right. I'm like, oh, gosh.
I just remember they had a Burger King promotion.
Yeah.
And I got some free Whoppers.
They had a promotion at Red Robin. Mm-hmm. If you bought a gift card for $25, you got free ticket to
you told me
Paul
about
Blart. Okay. We got it.
When does that come out?
I think next week. We're going to see that.
Of course you are.
You should come and see it.
No.
Okay, so it's funny because I didn't see a ton of movies as a kid. I got to see, some, but not nearly as many in the theater. But my kids are totally going to be more like you in that regard. Like, if there's a movie that they can see in the theater, we're going to see it.
That's a good dad move.
I mean, come on.
Because you don't want to be that kid that's like the deprived movie kid.
I didn't suffer too much. Part of it was
you grew up in Big Bear.
In Big Bear, right. It was a 2-hour drive to go see a movie in the theater. I mean, we had our little dinky theater up there, but it was, We
don't even have that. We don't. Well, I would kill for a dinky theater in Ukaipa. I would live at that theater.
Here's the thing. We have a movie theater in Ukaipa that's closer. Like, the movie theater in Redlands is closer to the movie theater than we lived when we lived in Big Bear. Because it was a 20-minute drive to the dinky theater in Big Bear from our house, because we were on the far other end of town. So from here, I can get to Krikorian.
I just want a theater that's like...
I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I live now closer to a theater than I did growing up.
See, when I was growing up, trying to think, after my dad died, we would take the bus, or like there was a theater we could ride our bikes to.
Yeah, that was not a thing. And so the one in Big Bear, it was a tiny theater, not very big screens. It wasn't stadium seating or anything.
We didn't know
and they
that.
only had two. I know that was a relatively newer thing, but I'm just saying, down the hill, we could go down and go see movies in a real theater.
Down the hill.
And they only had 2 screens, so there was only 2 movies playing at any given time. So we missed a lot of stuff up there that didn't even ever play in Big Bear. All that is to say, my kids are seeing a lot more movies in the theater than I ever did.
All right, we gotta get going. It's already
do this.
It's past my freaking bedtime. But you did, you little jerk. It's hot in here.
You had the heater turned off, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's just freaking Can't turn on the AC
air while we're doing it.
because it's noisy as heck. It's getting hot in Ukaipa.
Yep, it's gonna get warm. It does get warm in the summer.
Well, that's kind of how it is everywhere.
That's true. Do we ever check? Should we check just in case?
Yep.
We got it on the right thing.
Check 1, 2, testing.
3, 4, 7, 9.
Check 1, 2, testing.
3, 4, 7, 9. All right. Sounds like a thing.
I'm gonna be so dead tomorrow.
We'll do fast one.
Don't even say that right now because you're gonna just ruin it. You ready?
Ready.
Did I already start all this? Yes.
Yep.
All right. Oh, wait. All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
And you're back from vacation again.
Back again.
And I'm about to leave on vacation.
About to leave.
But my vacation's pretty short. And then we're going to WonderCon.
Which is kind of another vacation.
And then I'm going camping.
Business vacation.
And then I don't know.
Huh? No vacation plans after that? Then summer break is coming up.
Well, I mean, I got Comic-Con in July. Hopefully somewhere in there I'll get a new job. And
it's all good.
And I won't be freaking out.
The school, you've been like taking tests and stuff?
Well, I'm getting ready to take my tests.
Oh, those are
So I'm doing practice tests, and I just keep doing that over and over. And then, like, I have to get an exam voucher, and so once they get like, okay, and then it takes a week for them to send it to me.
Okay.
So now I have. So once I get back, I'll have to study again.
Right.
Get
it fresh.
Like, but I'm at the point where I think I got it.
What last one you posted? I think you said
I get 90. I get 96%. I'm at 96%.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
What do you have to get to pass?
80.
Oh, okay.
But they just want to make sure that you're like solid.
Right.
Because the test is like $200 and you don't get a retake.
Ooh, geez.
So you pass.
If you don't pass, you have to like take the class again.
I want to take the class again, but I have to pay another $200 out of my pocket. If I wanted to retake the test.
Cover it.
Yes.
I gotcha.
It's all included.
Right.
But it doesn't include retakes. Now, Microsoft tests, you do get a retake, but I'm not taking a Microsoft test.
Okay. So don't screw this one up.
That's why I have been practicing. But now that, like, I haven't been, like, putting my whole effort into it because I'm, like, leaving for... And I'm not going to study while I'm gone.
But if you're getting in the 90s...
But I feel like once I get back, I'll do a day of studying, and then I'll take the test, and then boom, and then start my next class.
Good.
So that's what's going on. And, you know, it's been good. I mean, I had a good couple weeks, I guess. Nothing too eventful happened. I mean, a couple things happened, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, I always make these, now that I have the WWE Network, I make these crazy decisions. So I'm going backwards through every WrestleMania.
Oh, sweet.
But I am skipping I'm skipping through some of them.
Why are you skipping?
Like, I'll watch a little bit, because there's 30 of them.
You're going to watch them all?
That would take...
How many hours are each one?
Like 4.
Oh, so you're talking like 120 hours of
if
you watched everything.
And I've seen most of them. There was like they have some gaps, so I'll watch like most of that. But even sometimes it's okay to skip a little bit.
Okay, that's okay. I just want to make sure there's a logic to it.
Been skipping around, but I'm at 18. I think if I really, really, really plow through tomorrow, I can. Because if I just want to make it to 12, because I've watched 1 through 12, like that was like, those have been around most of my life, and I've watched all of them like 100 times each. So I figure once I get to 12, actually once I get to like 14.
So you're almost there, really.
Yeah, I'm real close.
All right.
And then once I go, I might just skip through and watch a couple of like my favorite matches. But like I can tell you the match cards from like 1 to 14.
So you don't really need to do that.
But some of these like newer ones I've only either watched once or just seen bits.
Right.
Or because there's times when I wasn't watching wrestling, because that's kind of how it goes.
Right.
So yeah, there was a huge announcement today which kind of changed the face of WrestleMania. So Brock Lesnar, it was assumed, was not going to re-sign his contract and was going to go back to UFC. And because of that, since he's the champion right now and in the main event, it was basically a given that he was going to lose to newcomer Roman Reigns, which everyone all of a sudden hates for some reason.
Okay.
Even though I'm sticking, I still think he's got a lot of potential. But now Brock Lesnar, like seriously, like 3 hours ago on ESPN announced that he re-signed with the WWE for a multi-year contract. He's done with MMA.
Wow.
I think what happened was he made this crazy decision where he's like, I'm going back to MMA. Then maybe he went back to Minnesota, sat around with his wife and kids, and he realized, like, I could get majorly injured in the MMA ring.
Right.
Like, majorly injured. My odds of getting injured in WWE are extremely low given my light schedule and what a crazy, in-shape beast I am.
Right.
And I still get paid millions of dollars. I work like, he does like 15 appearances a year.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
That's a pretty freaking sweet deal. So I think he probably thought on it a little bit and then was like, all right. And he also made Vince McMahon sweat, so he probably got so much money.
Oh, yeah. He's doing fine.
Especially since it's right before, and this changes WrestleMania. Because now all the options are open now. This kind of blows the main event wide open.
Huh.
People that I've seen on Reddit that were like, I'm not watching, are now saying I'm watching. Like, and I feel like this is, again, one of my things where I'm like, Vince McMahon knows what he's doing. I think this was planned.
I was going to say, do you think he
I'm pretty sure this is a coordinate. There is people were crapping all over WrestleMania, and
now,
I think
all of a sudden,
like this, yeah, I think they know what they're doing. They always know what they're doing. Sometimes it's not always the best, but they know what this. I seriously think this is gonna maybe double the amount of people that watch.
Oh, I mean, it makes sense.
So, because again, it went from being a foregone conclusion that the guy that most people don't like is going to win to who knows what's going to happen. Like, there's some people that are saying, oh, maybe Roman Reigns will still win, but he'll turn heel, and then Brock Lesnar will be a good guy, and then they can fight all summer, and that's going to be awesome. Maybe, because there's this thing called Money in the Bank, so this guy, Seth Rollins, has this briefcase, and he can use it to get a title match anytime he wants.
Okay.
So maybe Seth Rollins will cash in, and, something's going to happen with that. Or maybe they'll make it so, Brock Lesnar takes the title and disappears for a while, and nobody knows what happens. And so, again, there's all kinds of possibilities. It went from having, basically one possibility to having, 10.
So now everyone wants to see it. And
I'm going to be there, and it's always exciting when things like this ramping up where I'm just like, this was cool, and now it's really cool, because that's, again, it's exciting, but also nerve-wracking buying WrestleMania tickets in December because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I thought we were getting a bust this year, and now it doesn't look like it at all. Enough of the wrestling talk. I guess I'm getting that out because Benson and I couldn't get the schedule to mesh to do our pre-WrestleMania Brendo's wrestling show. But we're going to be doing a whole Road Diaries thing.
That's cool.
And that should be, I'm excited. But I'm just really excited for this trip. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see Mike.
When do you guys leave?
Leave Thursday.
Leave Thursday.
Yep, and we're gone.
2 days from now.
Yep. And we're going.
Get back when?
Get back probably. I'm hoping Tuesday afternoon, maybe Tuesday night, because I need to somehow smush 20 hours of class between the time I get home and because I'm at WonderCon Friday morning.
Oh, okay.
No matter what happens.
Okay.
I might be pulling a 12-hour school day on Thursday.
Oh,
I don't want to do that, so I'm hoping if we get back in time on Tuesday, I can catch the night session. And then I'll only have to do 8 hours.
You're going to be dead at WonderCon.
No, I'm not.
You think?
I'm fine.
Okay, all right.
I'll do 8 hours because I do 8 hours on Monday, 8 hours on Tuesday, 4 hours on Wednesday right now.
But you're going to be driving back from San Francisco right before that.
It's not that long, and I'll get plenty of sleep.
All right. Just don't sleep while you're driving.
No, I got Benson.
Oh, that's good, okay.
It'll be fine.
All right.
I gotta, because I'm not missing Friday WonderCon. Because WonderCon, they announced the programming schedule in addition to us being on it.
Which is amazing.
Friday, there is a Last Man on Earth panel.
What time is that at?
That is at 5 o'clock.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Really?
Well, Janelle gets out at 3.
Oh.
School.
I thought you were coming up on Friday.
Well, yeah, but it's at 5. She leaves at 3.
Why are you even going to come if you're not going to get there till, like, late?
Well,
are you staying out there for the weekend?
We might stay out for the weekend.
I was going to say, if you're not, that would be Well, so, me and Derek and Benson and everybody will be at that Last Man on Earth panel. And
I hope I can make it.
Because it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. And but on Saturday, after our panel, I don't know if you saw this, we are totally going to be able to make the Rotten Tomatoes panel.
Oh, nice.
So you can make your return to the Rotten Tomatoes panel. I'm sure they will be excited to see you.
Indiana Jones 4, I'm pretty sure.
That's what you're going to do? Yeah, do it.
That's going to be
just get up there.
That's going to be it.
You need to you're going to try and get, because as soon as you get in there, just find where the mic.
Yeah, because it might be a bigger...
WonderCon, I think, is a little bit more organized, so you'll know where the microphone is. Just go there, because I want you to start off, because that will cause because that's going to be probably a full house, because we didn't even get in. It was full.
Right.
So imagine 100 people, and you're going to get up there, and you're going to say, Crystal Skull, fresh.
Definitely.
That is going to start. It's going to burn that place down. I'm excited.
I can't wait.
I'm excited. Although, I still think, man, if you walked up there, Leonard Part 6, fresh, then you would be in danger.
Yeah, there's a fine line there, and I'm not willing to cross that line. Although, between you and me, of course, I still like the movie. I don't want to go
that's what I was going to ask you about the UHF thing. How would you have felt about Leslie Nielsen as Fletcher? They did talk about that.
I think he would have been amazing. However,
but I couldn't. I wouldn't. It wouldn't have been as because
he's not angry.
Because this was post Naked Gun.
Right, and he's the dopey affable guy.
But maybe that's where he would have blown everybody away.
Could be, but I don't know. I feel like
that was their whole thing, was they just couldn't see Leslie Nielsen because he was already.
He was in that.
If it had been pre-Naked Gun, because that's what they said. They wanted somebody like that, and that's why they got Montgomery, whatever, that guy.
What is his name? Well, anyway.
They got him, and he was perfect.
And he was, because he was totally overacting, but on angry, you just station, he just went nutsos, and it's perfect for it.
But could you see Leslie Nielsen? UHF station.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying he couldn't have done it, but I like how it is. I think it's perfect. We were talking about UHF a lot because there's this great article on the AV Club.
Christopher Lloyd, Stanley Spadowski. That was
that was one of the alternate ones. It looks like they were looking at that pretty seriously.
Well, that was what they were gonna go to when they didn't think they had Micah Richards.
He wasn't into it.
And then they were trying. What were they trying to get Crispin Glover to do?
Well, they wanted him to.
He wanted to be the car salesman.
Right. They're like, yeah, that's not. Because the car salesman they got is the,
he's
cowboy
the guy, yeah.
He's like Cal Worthington basically, and he does not fit that. I can't remember what they wanted him to be now.
Was it Stanley or was it the scientist?
No,
I think it was
maybe the mad scientist.
I think it was the scientist guy.
Whatever it was a smaller role, but he didn't care.
He wanted an even smaller role.
But he wanted that role.
Yeah, and that sounds like a very Crispin Glover thing.
Yeah, he got in his mind that he's that guy,
which is funny.
So.
There's
if you want to read a great article about UHF, check it out on the AV Club.
It was a great, and it's a big read, so
it is.
It's great if you're sitting and you don't want to do anything.
Well, again, this was part of my delving into being non-productive. I Dan Harmoned it, if you will.
How's that Brax going?
Yeah, well, I wrote the thing last night.
We cannot lose our pro status.
We aren't. We're doing a panel.
That's my biggest fear.
Don't fear the Reaper.
They're playing somewhere near here.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What was I? Oh, man. What was that? Oh, they're playing at La Mirada Theater.
Oh, really?
Because I was at La Mirada Theater. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's do some reader mail.
Okay, let's do reader mail.
We have a reader mail.
Okay.
It's from Mario. Today on First World Problems, I think he's talking about me.
I think he's referring to you,
Today on First World Problems, I'm using an out-of-date iPhone. I have to pay attention to what I'm watching. Oh, this is snarky Mario. And then I love the fact that it says sent from my Verizon wireless BlackBerry. So maybe he's just like welcome to the club because he uses a BlackBerry.
I think you're included in that.
Although I feel like if he's got a decent BlackBerry, I still feel like it's better
than what you have.
He can probably update his apps. I cannot.
You can't get anything new.
And I regret deleting some of the apps that I did, thinking that I would.
MySpace in particular.
MySpace. No, there was a podcast app on there that I deleted thinking I was going to download Stitcher.
You can't get it.
Nope. And I can't download that podcast app because now it's been up. It's like a newer version, and
you can't get the old one.
I guess I could find the old. I don't know how that works. I don't think Apple you can do that. I know with Android you can. I don't think Apple
it works
lets you do that.
It's not that I know of.
Yeah, I have this phone thing. I feel bad because I guess I'm not going to be taking a lot of pictures at WrestleMania because I took a ton of pictures last year.
You don't have another camera at all?
No. I guess Benson's gonna if when we get pictures. Oh, this is the other thing I'm so excited about.
Okay.
Like at the very least, Benson. So we know for sure we're gonna get to meet two of our all-time greatest wrestlers no matter what happens.
Okay.
So on Friday night, because the Ring of Honor thing was sold out, we got tickets to see Mick Foley, and he has a built-in that includes a meet and greet.
Nice.
So we're gonna meet Mick Foley. I'm really excited because normally he charges $25 at like Comic-Con and stuff, and we're paying $25, but we also get to see him do like stand-up comedy and his Q&A and stuff, and there's gonna be special guests. And if there are other wrestlers, maybe we get to meet them too. That'll be like a bonus.
Are you guys gonna get some plugs while you're there? Is there any chance of getting?
I'm hoping to.
I know you gotta read the vibe.
Everybody's like at WrestleCon. I'm especially I don't know what the protocol is because these guys this is how they make their money.
Right.
A lot of them, this is like their biggest money making thing of the year. So I don't want to interrupt guys from doing their business.
Right.
And also I don't want to get sucked into I'll do this if you pay me money because I don't want to have that conversation with somebody.
Right.
But again, last time maybe at the Evolve show we can do it because we got a bunch when we were at a wrestling show. We got 5. We just because it was once we got one, we're let's go talk to this guy. Let's go to this guy. But it's getting that. I don't know. I'm really intimidated by wrestlers for some reason. I've walked up to a lot of people and talked to a lot of people and made a fool out of myself. A lot of people, but for some reason.
These are guys that punch each other.
And also maybe just because I respect them so much for what they do, and I know the last thing they want to do is talk to doofs.
Okay, but you have to think of it this way too, and I'm not saying.
But it also is their business to appease the fans.
Well, and more than that,
and
you guys are offering something in return.
It's true.
I mean, in some cases it may be more helpful than others, I suppose, depending on how big they are. But it's not like it's for nothing. I mean, you guys are a show talking about.
I know wrestling. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get some.
Just saying, have some self.
Well, anyway, so we're meeting Mick Foley, and then. This is the one that I was super excited about. So they announced, so we're going to the WrestleMania Access, which is where you can meet some of the wrestlers, and they do these. They do multiple autograph sessions, and there's tons of superstars, but you really only get one autograph per session because each line it takes the whole session to get through, but one of them is Roddy Piper.
Oh,
so
nice.
And I'm we'll just go to his line. That's who cares? I would wait in that line the whole time, and so we're gonna meet Roddy Piper. I am so excited to meet Roddy Piper because he's awesome.
And he's rowdy.
And he's all out of bubble gum, and he's done so much awesome stuff. I'm excited.
Nice.
Have you ever watched any of his movies besides They Live?
No.
Have you ever? There's one you should actually. Okay, there's one that you should definitely watch.
Okay.
It's called Terror Comes to Frogtown.
Oh, I think I have seen that.
And it's the frogs, the killer frogs.
Yeah.
I believe there is a sequel.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if Roddy Piper's in it.
I might have
or Hell Comes to Frogtown, or
I've seen
the Frogtown movie. It's pretty great.
Even with They Live, I've only watched large clips.
Okay,
of it.
you should. Okay, well, watch They Live because They Live is incredible on its own.
All right.
Not even ironically watching. There's things that are the wrestling scene in They Live is the greatest thing. That fight,
that
but just the movie on its own is an amazing movie.
All right.
It's one of the underrated. It's John Carpenter, like when he was like amazing.
Huh.
Not that he isn't amazing now. He's just made a lot of bad movies.
In his heyday, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, because this is like after this is post The Thing,
right?
And he was doing all kinds of stuff.
That was another one that one of the guys at the Rotten Tomatoes was like, The Thing. It's a really good movie. It's scary.
And it was like, you're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing, and like, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's really scary, right?
If you tried to say that the remake was good, then we'd have a.
And he's like, no, that
one
wasn't good.
was terrible.
The original was great.
That's where it's like
right,
you're missing the whole point of these panels.
Come up and say a movie you like. That's really good that everyone likes.
These panels are only fun when it's just people screaming. I want to go a comic because Derek just said like Comic-Con is like a whole other level. Plus when they get like huge critics. I mean they get Leonard Maltin, but they also get like you're like talking to like man.
I've got some good ones that everyone says.
You have so many good ones. You can just.
I can go to every panel from here till eternity and talk on these things.
Yeah, because I'm actually excited. You do Crystal Skull, then you got to go for some Shyamalan movies.
Oh yes, that's easy.
You could just say everything post Signs, and people would want to kill you.
M. Night's entire catalog minus The Happening. Even I wouldn't claim that one.
So if you just got up there and said that, I feel like that's like a declaration of war on all movie geeks.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. But I like those.
It's great. So I mean, if you didn't like those, you wouldn't be you.
It's true, and that's the thing. It's also, and I think they can tell when someone comes up and they're saying something just to like say.
No, you have a genuine.
I genuinely enjoy those movies.
Because even they are like, wow, you have solid arguments for Spider-Man 3. Like, these are all solid arguments. Some of them we disagree with, but some of them they're plausible.
And to me, I can enjoy a movie when it's not perfect. And a lot of people have issues. Like, they get hung up on one scene that was dumb or something and can't enjoy the rest of it. Anyway. What you doing?
I don't know, man.
Well, thanks for writing, Mario. We probably got a smaller amount of mail because everyone knew I was on vacation.
That's definitely what it is.
But I'm back, and we've got some weird schedule stuff coming up. But keep the letters coming.
Yeah, the next episode is going to be the Benview Megacast.
Yes, which we won't probably address reader mail directly on that.
Yeah,
but, it's cool. It always happens around this time of year in the summer and stuff. So. You just never know. But you know that we've got content coming, and that's what counts. You know what else counts?
What?
Listening to podcasts for free. That counts.
That's what I did all day today.
Yeah?
Listen to my new favorite podcast, The Blaze.
The Blaze?
On Stitcher, talking about 90210. I love that show, and I became annoying podcast listeners.
You did? What did you do?
I sent an email with like things that were wrong. Well, they weren't wrong. They basically said that New 90210 isn't canon, and I was like, how can it not be canon? It's got Kelly and Brenda. Unless that's Kelly and Brenda from Bizarre World, this is canon. And they also said it wasn't good, and I'm like, you guys, you need to give it, because they said they watched a few episodes. I'm like, oh, you need. It takes a little bit to soak in the goodness that is New 90210, and also when you have to acknowledge what it is for what it is. I mean, the way I pitched it to them, this is the way I pitched it to anybody that's a fan of original 90210, is I'm like, okay, so take the storyline. You know how original 90210 would have like a season-long story arc, like this love triangle, or Kelly is in a cult, or Kelly's a drug addict. That would be like a season of original 90210 and original 90210. New 90210. That all happens in one episode. So by like season 2, they've run out of your traditional soap opera storylines, and they go to crazy town. And it just, by season 5, this show does not. This again, 90210 season 5 takes place on alternate Earths, because it's nothing in it is real, and it's amazing. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's an amazing show, and also you get to find out what happened to some of your favorite characters.
There you go.
in the first couple seasons before they realize, oh, nobody cares about that anymore.
We're done.
It's like when they ditched the original 90210 people, then they ditched the parents. I was really bummed, though, because in season 1 they ditched the grandma, and it was Grandma Bluth.
Oh.
She was on like the first 6 episodes, and then it was just, Grandma's gone. Not even like, oh, Grandma died. It's just, remember that Grandma whose house we were living in? Yeah, she's just disappeared.
Well, that happens with TV.
Yeah. Anyways, listen to those podcasts and more. All the Benview Network podcasts.
On Stitcher.
Stitcher. Go to radiobrendo.com. Click the Stitcher link. If you haven't gotten the free app or signed up for an account, you can use it on the... Because I was using it on the web. I got because I was at school.
You have to.
Loaded it up on the web. Boom.
If you can't get it on your phone because your phone is so old,
that too.
That's another option.
So use the code BrendoMan when you sign up for your free account. Speaking of accounts...
Yes. Keep an account.
You should have a DreamHost account.
You should.
And I want to give a special shout-out to the mystery person that has been sending regular donations to our DreamHost hosting account.
Oh, thank you, mystery person.
Yeah, and I've sent emails because it sends their email address, but they haven't ever responded to me. So
maybe they want to be anonymous. That's
I guess,
cool.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because you can, if you want to be like that, you go to that goes directly into our hosting account. I don't even touch it. And you go to radiobrendo.com.
Sticky fingers in there.
Yeah, you go to radiobrendo.com, click the hosting donations accepted button. But if you want to have your own website and you can ask people for your money, you can do whatever you want. Go to click the DreamHost. You don't have to click it. You can just go to dreamhost.com, purchase a web hosting plan, any hosting package, and use the code RadioBrendoMan to save $50.
$50
off your order, and you get a free domain registration.
It's a good deal.
It's a super good deal, guys. And you could start your own web empire, just like us. Because that's what we are.
That's what we have, an empire.
Hey, man.
You know, if you wanted to buy the show Empire on DVD and get it in like 2 days...
That's really good.
You know how you could get it?
If you had Amazon Prime. Yeah.
They would send those DVDs to you in 2 days.
People love that show.
I don't know anything about it.
I know what... I think there was there an SNL parody?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
how I know about it. Yeah.
Why I know that it exists.
All right, so Amazon Prime, you can get a free trial if you go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon Prime trial link, and you will get a 30-day free trial, and that includes Amazon Prime Music, that includes the movie library, that includes the Kindle Owner's Lending Library if you're a Kindle owner. They also have like free cloud storage for all your photos, so I just uploaded all my photos. So I'm like, I'll put my photos on another place in case I lose them, and that's another place that if somebody wants to look at all my photos,
I guess they can see you.
Yes, they can. So I just did that, and then of course you get your unlimited free 2-day shipping, no minimum order size. You find that Blu-ray that's on sale for $3, boom. You need a cable for your whatever, boom. You need a replacement something or other for your toilet. You need a toilet.
You can get a toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy pretty much
just about everything.
They haven't restocked the Surge in a while. I'm getting concerned.
But is there something you can't buy on Amazon? I don't know. I mean, illegal stuff, obviously. But is there a legal thing that they don't sell?
A house?
I don't know. I guess a house. I guess they don't do escrow. Amazon escrow. Once they start that, though, it's everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, Amazon Prime. Use the link. Get your free promotional 30-day trial.
But even if you don't have Prime, or if you already do have Prime, when you're buying your stuff on Amazon, and everybody buys stuff on Amazon, go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon banner.
That's right. And you can help us out without spending any additional money, and we'll read out what you bought on the show, anonymously, of course.
We got our report.
Let's see. What did people... Now,
got a lot of Blu-rays.
You didn't read any on the last episode,
No.
Right? Okay.
Did not. Was thinking about it, and I'm like, this is Phil and I.
Yeah, that's good. I don't
and
want to miss anything.
we were interviewing... I was interviewing Mr. Brian Apodaca, which... When you're at WonderCon, don't forget, go to Small Press 001 at the Zombie Outlaw booth.
That's right.
I know we'll be heading over there.
Yes, Brian is a great dude. Thanks, Brian, if you're listening, for doing the show last week. I haven't gotten to listen to it yet because I just got back, but I will give it a listen.
Spared the world from another classic episode.
That's right. You're all that stands between an old episode. All right.
Did your wife get this?
I don't know. Probably. I'm sure.
Amazon Instant Video, Sister Wives Season 8.
There was a good chance that was my wife.
She's the only person I know that watches that show.
She loves Sister Wives. She is weirdly obsessed with polygamy. I'm telling you.
Isn't that weird?
It's kind of weird.
Freak you out?
No.
Does she ever what if she
want to be
husband? Yeah, brother. Does she want to be a sister wife?
No. Oh no. She's fascinated with the terribleness of it all. But it's like a train wreck. She can't stop watching it. It all started. She read this book that was written by a girl that escaped from a polygamous cult, and it was called Escape. We joked it was called Escape the whole time. And she read it it was on a trip. We went to Mexico, and she read it over the weekend, and she just couldn't stop talking about it. So then documentaries and movies, TV shows, anything that's got polygamy in it, she's just fascinated. So, yes, this is probably her. Oh, and that's why I think she's so obsessed with The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, too, because it's kind of unofficially a polygamous thing, right? They're, dating multiple people at the same time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm just saying, I think that's her obsession goes deep. So, yes, this is probably her.
She's the only person I know that buys Amazon Instant Video shows, and she's definitely the only person I know that watches the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know all of our listeners. Maybe there's another.
It could be. I'm curious. If there's someone else out there, you should write in, because I'm sure my wife would like to talk with you about it. It probably was, though, because she was on spring break for a week that Audrey was in school, and she was watching a lot of Sister Wives at that time, so it wouldn't be surprising. All right, what else we got there?
We got somebody went on a Spielberg and another Blu-ray binge. Yeah. We got 1941.
Interesting.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Ooh, it's classic.
Were you gonna say something about 1941?
Well, what's your take?
I think it's hilarious.
It's fun. It's kind of a mess.
It is a mess, but it's a hilarious, wonderful
mess. Yes. Okay.
I mean, the cast. I mean, come on.
It's tough to beat.
Do you think? Some people think that if Joe Flaherty had been in something else,
he might have caught on more.
This was his big break, and then it was a total.
And then it was kind of a
Because Belushi and Aykroyd were already a lot of the people were already established, but this was his big chance, and then hardly anybody saw. And he's so funny in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a flawed movie, but it's a fun flawed movie. All right.
Ace Ventura.
Great.
We got more. We got more Blu-ray. I've never seen Always.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really good.
John Goodman, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
John Goodman's great.
And Spielberg.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's my one.
I had it on VHS.
It's my one that's my blind Spielberg.
It's Spielberg light, I would say, but it's
I've never seen
good.
Sugarland Express.
I've never seen that either.
And I know I watched Color Purple because feel like we watched
Pretty sure I had to watch that in school or something.
I'm pretty sure I watched that in school.
Yeah.
And, all right, so Billy Madison.
Excellent.
Cloverfield.
Good.
Death Proof. That was part of Grindhouse.
Grindhouse, right.
That was the Robert Rodriguez movie. It's awesome. So they got Death Proof, the extended. Oh, because it's the extended cut. So I'm like, they also got Grindhouse, but they wanted the Death Proof extended.
Cut. All right.
Wait, no, Death Proof is the Tarantino movie. Rodriguez was Planet Terror. I always get those mixed up.
Okay.
Death Proof was with Kurt Russell, because I could hear somewhere somebody listening to the show screamed, "No! Tarantino!"
Oh, right now. You heard him.
I heard him, and so I'm like, oh, I got him mixed up.
You did it wrong. Okay. Clarified.
So Death Proof is the one with Kurt Russell and Zoe Kravitz. Or is it Zoe Kravitz? Because I know Zoe Bell's the stunt girl that was an actress in this. Is it also Zoe Kravitz? Lenny Kravitz's daughter? I feel like it might be Zoe Kravitz. I don't know. But
now they're screaming at you again.
Whatever. Keep screaming. We got Hannibal Season 2.
You missed Duel.
Oh, Duel. Another Spielberg.
Spielberg there.
You got Happy Gilmore.
Excellent.
So it's like Spielberg, Sandler.
It's a good combo.
Who's buying all these?
I don't know. It's awesome.
You know, half of these are on Netflix, right? A lot of these are on Netflix.
It doesn't say how much they were, but I bet these are all.
That's what I did, and after a while, thousands of dollars later, and You got this pile of Blu-rays just sitting in the You saw my Blu-ray.
I know.
It was stupid.
You've seen my pile of unopened stuff that I still haven't.
That was, dude. I think I had you beat for that. Was stupid.
Did. You had like a closet full. I opened it. Dude, look at all this stuff. And I'm like,
dumb.
But I could just go watch it on Netflix.
Exactly.
So why? Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird time we live in. All right. What else?
Man, this is a pretty cool.
This is a cool collection. The Last Action Hero.
Oh, it was Sidney Tamia Poitier. Why am I thinking it was Zoe Kravitz?
Well, because Sidney Poitier's daughter, right? Is Sidney.
And that's who was in Death Proof.
Yeah.
But I was saying Zoe Kravitz.
I don't know. Again, people are probably screaming at you.
Man. I did that. That's bad. Anyways.
All right, what are we at? Last Action Hero.
Piranha. Source Code. Spaceballs.
Spaceballs Epic. You heard that he's talking about doing Spaceballs 2 to coincide with the new...
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Do you know what the last movie he directed was?
Was it Robin Hood?
No. Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Ugh.
Oh, don't that.
I don't like that.
A Mel Brooks movie with Leslie Nielsen is one of the greats. Oh my gosh.
It's like it's the one I'm not a big fan.
No.
I'm not a big fan. That was, man, so it's been a long time.
It's been a long time since I've.
Well, that's where I'm like, is Mel Brooks?
Oh, you've seen him?
I've seen him. I know.
He's still amazing.
I listened to the Marin. He was on. And watch.
You guys, I mean, think about him on Curb Enthusiasm.
But that was like 5 years ago.
Still. Think about him and you watch the Writing in Cars with Coffee. What is it called?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you serious?
But it was probably around the same time he did Marin. And he also has a special. Saw that. I think he could do it.
He's definitely still got it.
But is the world like? I think the world forgot about spoofs and stuff, and they're gonna just crap all over it.
They might. He doesn't care. He crapped about his movies back then too.
Yeah, but all right. Amazing Spider-Man 2, 3D, Blu-ray, everything.
Nice.
Breakfast Club 30th Anniversary Edition.
Very good. And the Sugarland Express.
Then we got a $10 PlayStation Store card. We got Optimum Nutrition Whey, Gold Standard, Double Rich Chocolate.
No way.
5 pound. Yes whey. Lots of whey. 5 pounds of whey.
Whoa. Yes whey, Ted.
Grading calculator. Easy grader teacher's aid scoring chart. Is that something to know about?
Let me see. Might be. She might have gotten oh, yeah, I'm sure. That's probably her. I mean, could be another teacher. Someone else got it, but I know she has one of those.
All right, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Xbox One Collector's Edition.
It's the Phantom Pain. Is that related to you watch like the Phantom Menace and
that's
you
really pain that you get. Phantom pain. That's a real pain.
Phantom pain. Yeah.
It's not phantom.
It's
There's
real.
nothing phantom about
it's
it.
a real pain. Cool. Well, thanks for everyone for buying stuff.
I just put that on because I'm like, I wonder how far I can get. Because I
watched part of the Phantom Menace.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was listening to us talk about it.
Like on Netflix. What is it on?
I have my bootleg Chinese DVDs.
Oh gosh.
That's like, yeah, but they're bootleg.
How far did you get?
I got to the racist Chinese dudes, and I was like, in what universe was this a good idea? And then I remembered like just looking at you, and the look on your face was like the most priceless thing in the world, because that was like our holy crap, this might be horrible. Like, what is happening?
Because when that Lucasfilm thing went up, when the logo
I'm like, yes, that was the best. That was like the greatest moment of your life, and then it quickly became the worst thing ever.
Like, oh wait, what if it does suck? It does. It's sucking. What's happening right now? Oh gosh.
I don't know what made me depressed more was like, because I had as much at stake as you, but there was something about watching you, like, because you are Phil.
I like everything.
The fact that like watching you hate that movie, it was hard to watch because you don't hate movies.
No, I mean, obviously, with that, within the genres that I enjoy, it's tough to find movies that I don't at least find something.
So you
good.
got to admit, when we were trying to talk ourselves, that was what we were doing at the end of that.
Like, no, I think it was good. I don't know. Did we just no? Not. I didn't enjoy that, right? I don't know what happened. Yeah.
And then Ben's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna watch it for the 5th time." We're just like, "No,
no, you're definitely."
I remember.
Just trying to trick yourself into thinking you like.
I remember having an argument with him about episode 2 because he was trying to tell us that episode 2 was great. No. So I remember after episode 2, because then he came and visited your apartment.
Yeah.
Because 99, we were all still in college.
Right.
Man, and that was right after the Matrix high, and we were all still so high after the Matrix, and then.
Oh gosh, I think that they got incrementally less horrible.
Yeah, but they're okay. 1 is just bad. 2, the first time I saw it, I was like, that wasn't so bad. Each viewing of I can't get through 2 now. Yeah. 2. Because 2 is by far the worst writing. Because it's the writing awful. And that, I just remember the first time I saw my brother that summer, I hadn't seen him, and the first thing he said to me was what's that line where she's like, what did she say? Oh, it was terrible. It was like she was so tantalizing. This was terrible. And he just repeated one of Anakin's lines, when he picked me up at the airport, and he's like, please tell me you hated that movie. And I'm like, I was still in my, it wasn't that bad. I was still in, the Yoda fight was cool. The Yoda fight was cool, you guys. But, okay, no. I said, we've talked, how can we keep talking about this? Are we ever going to get over this?
No, I'm never going to get over it. I'm never. It was the most traumatizing film-going experience of my life.
I think the selling point for me on episode 2 being almost as... For a while, I hated it more than episode 1 because it should have been better, and it wasn't. Because I'm like, Jake Lloyd's gone. How can this movie be bad? Jar Jar's barely in it. It's still horrible. But then the CGI in them, that's where he realized, this is...
The Yoda thing is completely just the
whole movie, just everything. When he's even in that diner, everything looks so fake and so terrible. And then... rocket jets on R2-D2. I'm like, that is some... So you're telling me between, he lost rocket jets? What? And then that scene when they... I've said this so many times, but I can't understand how stupid it is. During that same sequence where he has the rocket jets going around in that droid factory, and they're jumping on the conveyor belt, that is straight out of Nick Arcade. That was like watching the finale of Nick Arcade, because it's them in front of a green screen going like,
it's like a platformer.
This is Nick Arcade. Yeah. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
How did this get made?
This movie made $1 billion, and I saw it 3 times in the theater, even though I didn't like it every time. What is wrong with us?
I only saw it once. I did see episode 1 twice because I went and saw it with my dad. And then my dad
I couldn't handle it. I only saw it once in the theater. I was traumatized.
Well, there were some concepts in episode 2 that I mean, the idea that the stormtrooper costume comes from a clone, that's cool. I mean, something with the Clone Wars, but when there's just a few nuggets,
but then they're like, hey, this Clone Wars thing that you've been hearing about forever, you're not even going to see that.
Yeah, it's a cartoon that happened in between, which is great.
Yeah, but come on. That's what those movies should have been.
That's what we wanted to see.
As soon as Ben Kenobi said, I fought with your father in the Clone Wars.
That's what we want to see.
We've been thinking about Clone Wars since we were 3 years old.
And part of the problem is that there's no way they could have made a movie that would have been as awesome as we imagined the Clone Wars were because of, it's all in our imagination.
And they just made it all stupid. Then he took every fiber of everything that could have been cool, and just, what are we doing? Why are we so...
I don't know.
That was 16 years ago.
Still stings.
We're still talking about it, and I've talked about the prequel on podcasts for hours.
I know. It's kind of a form of therapy, cinematic therapy.
What I hope is that when we sit to go see episode 7, and then that Lucasfilm logo comes up, when that Lucasfilm logo comes up from 07, somehow Disney has figured out a way. It's gonna wipe that piece out of our brain.
Yep. Oh, that would be awesome.
Like they
it's like
figure
the Men in Black flashy thing. You see it and go, oh, yeah, and then they can remake it.
Then you're like, all right,
they can do prequels again.
Because we all forgot. Maybe that's what they're working on.
That's good.
Maybe that's why
their new technology. Yeah.
I hope that would be great.
It's good. All it has to do is just be okay. Honestly,
it's true.
All it has to do is just not be terrible. But I think it's going to be great. I think it's in good hands.
I think that's why I need these movies to be good, because I feel like it's going to make everything okay.
It's going to be okay.
That's so messed up that these movies these are movies.
Yeah.
But they've affected us so profoundly. Because, I mean, that's just the fact. This is something that, like, our generation, it's our thing.
Yeah.
People give us a hard time about it all the time, but we will never let it go.
No.
Like, we'll never let go of the originals. They will never not be dear to us.
Right.
No matter what you say, you can trash, but, like, whatever tarnished, like, that will never, and then...
I never get tired of watching them over and over again.
And then because of that, we will never stop hating the prequels. Right. And... I don't know.
Let's hope. I'm full of hope for the future. That's all I'm saying. It could be really good.
It's gonna be it's a good year. I mean, shoot, Fast 7 comes out like next month. I'm super excited for Fast 7. And then the ball is rolling. Well, we are like 2 months away from Avengers, which, holy crap.
And I already have my pre-sale ticket for Paul Blart. 2. Oh my god. Now he's not just a mall cop. He's in Las Vegas. The stakes are bigger.
This is why we can't have nice things.
The floors to slide across and then awkwardly scoot back behind something.
If I have to see him get kicked by that horse,
that's the kid's favorite part. They want to watch the trailer on repeat just to watch that. They have the lines all memorized from the trailer.
Gosh,
I'm telling you, it's gonna be amazing.
Hey, why don't I just come over and fall all over the place? Then you don't need to.
They'll love it. They'll love it. That'd be great. I already have my ticket though, so it's too late.
The fact that you have a free ticket to Paul Blart is so stupid.
This is why I'm saying that when I go to the Rotten Tomatoes panel,
this is what's happened to you as a dad. You don't get to see Kingsman, which I feel like 1999, Phil, you would have been there opening night.
No, I want to see that movie so bad. I will find a way.
But you got your free sale
because
ticket.
the kids can go. I can't take the kids.
This is just like this is the situation that you're now in, and I just pity you.
No, but it's fun. I'll get to see it eventually.
That's where I'm at with it. But I know for you, because like you are obsessed.
Oh.
With Samuel L. Like unhealthily.
Yes, and that movie looks amazing. It's got good reviews.
But that would have been like a Phil midnight show.
Oh, definitely multiple viewings. I'm in a different stage in life, but it's fun.
I just think that's kind of sad.
But to be fair, I saw Paul Blart before I had kids in the original one in the theater, so
it just bothers me that Paul Blart and Paul Blart 2 is going to make like a freaking $100 million,
yep.
And the Serve and Protect like just totally bombed, and we'll never get a sequel. And that movie was genius.
To be fair, it had a limited. I loved it, but it had a limited appeal.
That's why that's why life isn't fair.
It's not. I get it.
You'll be watching Paul Blart 8. With your great-great-grandkids.
Yes, I will.
And you'll be laughing at geriatric Kevin James.
And he'll be like on a hover scooter thing.
By then we'll all be like the people in Wall-E, and like it'll just be like we're sitting there with our buckets and.
But he'll like slide out of his.
Yeah,
he'll be like,
he's falling around, then he can't move, but that's Paul Blart in space.
I'll totally watch that.
Observe and report. I'm sorry.
There you go. What did you say?
I said protect and serve. I'm really off my game tonight.
I know what you meant.
Like Sydney, like Zoe Kravitz, Sidney Poitier.
Wasn't she in that Preserve and Protect movie?
Observe and report is super dark and amazing,
it is.
But that was where we saw the genius of Michael Pena for one of the first times.
Yep.
Anna Faris in that movie was hilarious.
Yeah.
Danny McBride. And that's where you're like, whoa, Seth Rogen can go even, like, you thought Apatow, like, this is a whole other level.
Right.
I love that movie. So funny. Those twins.
The twins. But, it makes sense, and I don't think they ever expected it to be as big of a box office
but the
thing.
fact that, like, it was just, like, totally, and everybody, and then like.
Well, the irony of they made a movie about a mall cop not knowing that another similar one is coming out. I mean,
and it was just a dude.
Right, and that movie made way more money.
It's just I guess that's just how it is. I mean, broad comedy makes money.
It was funny. It's funny.
I don't dislike Kevin James either. I saw him do stand up and it was hilarious.
He's a funny guy. But see, I can appreciate both.
All right, we got to keep this train rolling here.
Yeah,
Speaking of trains, we are rolling into WonderCon next weekend.
And our station is on Saturday
at the Marriott Elite Ballroom from 4 to 5 p.m. We're going to be doing Web Comics Advocates panel, you, me, Josh, Patrick Scullin. It's going to be awesome. I got Ish is going to come on Friday.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see Ish. I haven't seen him in like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But then the rest of the Benview crew is going to be there except for Gates because he's in a wedding. Or he's doing the wedding.
That's right, he's officiating.
And so, but the rest of the Benview crew can all be there.
So come say hey if you're going to be there.
And we'll be doing the panel and we'll be doing the megacast.
My family's going to come to the panel.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Whole Vecchio clan.
Yeah. So we better do a good one.
No, it's going to be... just do the bad one.
It's going to be great.
Just one last... I know I keep talking about it, but Brendo and Benson's WrestleMania tour. We're going to be up there.
Coming.
Excited. Road tripping.
Good.
And staying in lovely Newark, which I've never stayed up Newark. I heard it's not so great up there.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
Because Mike had to sell his house, and now he lives in like an apartment. And
so you're not crashing at his pad?
Well, we are.
Oh, you are?
Crashing in the living room.
Oh, okay.
I had forgotten. I totally forgot.
Okay, gotcha.
He's like, I hope one of you guys has air mattress. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I don't live in the house anymore. I'm like, oh.
You want to borrow ours?
No, Benson's bringing his. I might as well just sleep on the floor. Put like a tarp down. No, I got the couch.
I'm just kidding. You don't want it. I don't even know if we still have it. We probably do.
All right. Well, you went on vacation and did a lot of stuff.
I'll try to go through it quickly.
Yeah,
but I got some good tales here.
Yeah.
So I went on vacation. We went up the coast of California, stopped along Pismo, San Luis Obispo, Morro Bay, kind of that general area where we were hanging out there.
Mm-hmm.
So a few important things. I mentioned it beforehand, but we did the chronological CD project where we listened to one CD from every year. I started in 1976. That's how far back I had music represented on CD, obviously reissues and stuff, all the way up through 2015. We didn't quite make it all the way.
You didn't make it?
Well, we're finishing it off. We're finishing the project.
What year are you on?
We made it to 2008. So we're close. The problem is we didn't drive that far, and we did a lot of hanging out and doing stuff, so we really only listened to the music in the car. So, but, it was fun. It was a really cool project. It was crazy just listening to the progression of the music along, and hearing artists that I never would associate with each other, but hearing those
hearing
ties.
certain trends.
Yeah, that just happened here, and listen to this.
So everybody was doing this in this time period, and everybody was doing this in this time period. And
it's really, when you listen to it, again,
time periods do have distinct sounds.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
it really is, and
you can listen. I can listen to certain songs and I've never heard them before, and I'd be like, "This is from the '90s. This is from 1993." Between 1993, you can even kind of place it in a certain you could not even the decade, but just certain time periods.
Well, and it's funny because, I don't know, maybe it's because of the music that I listen to, maybe not, but most of the stuff that I have is in the Christian music realm, and it's often known for being behind the times. But I think maybe it's because of just the scene that I listen to, because I don't listen to the mainstream pop stuff. It's very much it seemed to tie in very much with what was going on in the real world.
Because you were into the underground stuff,
right? So that
wasn't getting a lot of attention.
So for instance, the Prayer Chain is a band you're familiar with. Definitely fit at least early on within the grunge.
Fit right in there, right? Yeah.
But their first album came out in '91.
Yeah. So they were right there.
So they were there. In other words, maybe they were part of a trend. Yeah, but I'm not saying that anyone copied them, but they were contemporaries with what was going on.
Well, because they're not contemporary Christian artists that are trying to they're making a bogus manufactured product to sell to gullible people. These are genuine musicians that are influenced by the music of the time, so that makes perfect sense.
Which is what, and it was cool seeing that throughout. That was, I mean, at least it helped me to justify my music taste a little bit, because people are very down on that subgenre, but it's really a subgenre that I'm into. So anyway, it was fun to see that. Blah, blah, blah. I also went to a record store while I was out there because I hadn't bought anything from 2015. Up in San Luis Obispo, there's a really cool one. It was amazing because it had records, music, CDs, tapes, everything.
Do you remember the name?
I can't think of it. It had a funny, because it was like a real long name, because it was a comic shop also. They had comics, video games, collectibles. They had just everything. It was one of those like everything that Phil loves kind of stores.
Yeah.
And now I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
I'm heading up to there, and I could have checked it out. Now I don't know.
It's on Higuera.
Okay.
It's like right down. It's walking distance from the Bubblegum Alley. I'll think of it. I'll try to look it up. But anyway, it was amazing. We saw. Okay, so anyway, Morro Bay. This is kind of cool because when I remember going there when I was a little kid, and there were sea otters there. But over the last couple of decades, the sea otters have kind of disappeared. They've left. They've been endangered, but the population is resurging. So while we were there, we saw 8 or 9 sea otters, a couple hundred feet off the shore. You could see them knocking the food on their chest with the rock and everything, and it was really cool. And so while we were on the beach one day watching them, and this guy comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, buddy, see how there's those 2 otters out there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You think they're together?" I'm like, "I don't know, maybe." He's like, "You think they're significant otters?"
Whoa. And you're like, brother.
And I was like, dude, I'm going to tell that joke on my show. That's amazing. So, to that random dude out there in Morro Bay.
Do you think that's some dude that lives there and every day he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Joke. I told that guy my joke. So
comes over, he's like, honey, I told it to 10 people today.
She's like, stop it. You need to be home with your children. Enough of the joke.
Significant otters is the greatest.
Significant otters. So anyway, if he's out there, thanks for that one, man. That was awesome. He got me because I did not know. I didn't know what.
Was it a pair of them? Are they holding hands?
Yeah, there were 2 of them together.
That's the cool. That's the cute thing about it. Is they always
super. Yeah, they're
hold
right
hands
together,
so they don't float away from each other.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good joke.
They use the buddy system.
We did a lot of beach time and stuff. There was one that you'll have to ask the kids about this, but. We went down. We were going to go swimming, and it was this big, long drive through sand dunes. It was really cool, and you have to kind of hike down to it. And we get down there, and there's signs everywhere that say no swimming, huge undertow, and everything like that. So on the walk down there, right before we got there, Audrey had a little tantrum about something, and then they got in a little fight about it. I don't remember what it was. And so we're like, all right, you guys are going to have timeout. You're not going to get to swim for 5 minutes. So we got down there, and then we're like, oh, you can't swim at all. I'm like, that's it. This is the timeout beach. And so we gave them their timeout, and then we left because we had to go find a beach we can swim at. So the whole rest of the time, when they would get in a fight or they do something bad, if Audrey was being bad, Luke would go, Audrey, don't. We're going to have to go back to the timeout beach.
Timeout beach.
So,
not the timeout beach.
So we stayed at the Madonna Inn.
Yeah, was it as great as every...
It's incredible. I want to go back there and stay in every single room.
I saw 8 pictures of your freaking bidet controls.
Yes. The kids called it the bottom tickler. And it was incredible.
And so it was heat.
Okay, yeah. It had a rear jet. It had a front jet. It had an air conditioner. You could set it to oscillate, so it would go back and forth or up and down. You could set the stream intensity. And then, it had the dryer, a heated dryer that would dry you off afterwards. And they would just take turns, watching each other, they would give each other privacy to do their business, and then they'd come in and watch each other, do the thing, because it, would make them laugh. Daddy, I want to do the bottom tickler. So, but the adults kind of had fun with it, too. It was nuts. It was really crazy. We were, talking about, should we get one of these? This is really cool, right? And then I'm like... No, we're bad enough at keeping our toilet clean as it is. Can you imagine having all those contraptions to have to deal with? Anyway, it's the bottom tickler. If anyone out there, does anyone use bidets? The only time I've ever seen one in Europe.
Wealthy people that have them.
I'm curious. okay, this is good. It's weird, but we talk about poop a lot on here. So, do you still wipe afterwards?
I don't know.
We did some experimentation with this, and I
think you still do.
You have to do like a finishing wipe.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a thing?
I think that's the thing.
If there's anyone else that
I think it's
uses
just
them
like
out there.
extra clean.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I got to admit, when we got to the next hotel, I'm like, kind of missed that, you know? So there you go. Bottom tickler.
All right.
We swam in the pool at the Madonna Inn. It was incredible. It's an infinity pool, but it also has like the beach access, so it's like, kind of a real gradual incline. And we stayed there for over 4 hours at the pool that one day. Well, and we swam a couple times, but one day we did 4 hours. We ordered food from they have a little restaurant at the pool, and Janelle got a virgin pina colada while we were in the jacuzzi and stuff. The bartender was serving us. It was the most luxurious thing we've ever done. The kids were so excited. We got to eat at the pool. We got little pizzas and stuff.
Nice.
But the cool part about it is Audrey, for the first time, they both went no floaties or anything. Audrey swam across the deep end with no floaties, no help.
Oh wow.
She's a swimmer. She still managed. I mean, she was swimming back and forth. Still won't dunk her head.
Yeah, well, I remember even back when she was 4, she would swim everywhere, and she had floaties on. Yeah, but I remember the whole. She did not. No, I don't want to dunk. I don't want to dunk. She still doesn't want to dunk. Luke, he's not quite swimming. He's kind of paddling a bit, but he was doing breath holding. He'd go under and hold it for 15 seconds, which is pretty good for a little 4-year-old. So. That's fun. We also went to some incredible tide pools while we were there, and we saw a lot of cool stuff. It was fun. The kids got to hold sand crabs and hermit crabs and stuff. Tide pools up there.
They're incredible. This place we went to was some of the best tide pools I've seen. Just hundreds and hundreds of yards of these big flat rock areas. Super cool. So we had a great experience there, but we also went to this other place that wasn't such a great experience. I was just, I Googled around different attractions and activities, and I found out there's a cave you can hike to that was only a quarter of a mile round trip little walk down to it. And so we're gonna go check this out. It was a sea cave. It was called what was it called? It was Pirate Cove, and then the sea cave was
where was this?
Indian caves. It was just north of Pismo and it was kind of between there and Avila Beach, and which I'll talk about that in a second, but. So we get up there, and all it said was there's a big old article about this little attraction. The guy goes through the hike and everything. I read the first paragraph, and it sounded fun. So we go there, and first of all, it's only a quarter mile, but it's really steep. So we get down to the bottom, and you come around a corner, and there's the sea cave. You're still up on a cliff, but there's a cave opening, and I don't know, you're probably 75 feet above the water, and there's an opening. It's really beautiful, but it's also completely graffitied, Audrey can read now, and there was more F words in there, than the Big Lebowski. And apparently, transients love using it for a toilet. We called it the poop cave because, if you didn't stick to the path in the middle, there's no telling what you were walking in. I mean, it smelled like going through a subway tunnel or something. It was so nasty. The kids called it the poop cave. We went and looked at the view. Everyone held their nose, and we're all right, we're gonna go now. This is good. But what we didn't realize, because you walk down from the parking lot and it splits. And you go to the right to the cave and the left is the beach, Pirates Cove. And when we got there, there was this dude, obviously, we're pretty sure he was selling stuff to people who were coming. There's huge parties because it's spring break right by San Luis Obispo College there. We call it Cal Poly. And so this dude, hey, you guys first time here, bros? And he's got an ice chest and some stuff around him, no shirt on. And we're yeah. And he's make sure you hang to the right to get to the cave, okay? And we're okay, cool. And we didn't think anything of it. There's all these people going down. Well, I went back later and found out because everyone was going down. They had bathing suits on, but that's it. Turns out it was a nude beach. And they were going there. They were having these nude parties down there. And so we all, because we're should we go down to the beach? I don't know. It's kind of crowded. There's a lot of people going down there. So we were this close to taking our kids down to this spring break nude beach. All the Cal Poly students down there. Everyone had, their ice chests and stuff. So we avoided that. It was okay. So, but we probably won't go back to that place. Okay, 2 more. I'm gonna flip the order. So we went further up north to Avila Beach. It's this little town off the beaten path. You would never pass it unless you go off the main road. And I kind of just kept driving up the road until it dead ends in this little place called Port San Luis. And the road dead ends at the pier. this pier up there. And I realized, like, we got there, and you can drive out on the pier. Like, there's a car going out there, and there's, like, 4 parking spots at the end. So I drove all the way out. There's a restaurant. There's a fish shop, like a fresh fish place. So we got out. Matthew was, like, freaking out. He's like, I don't think you can drive on a pier. You can. I'm like, yeah, I think you can, So he was, like, freaking out. And then, like, everyone's looking over the side because there's all these sea lions on these platforms underneath. And then I find a stairway, and you can go down underneath, and you can walk to these platforms where the sea lions are at. And Matthew's like, I don't think we're supposed to go down here. And I'm like, dude, what is up? Like, it's fine. He's like, you can't. So he wound up coming down with us, but we go underneath, and we're literally like 20 feet away from the sea lion. We could have walked over and touched one, except I'm not stupid, There
was just a kid that got bit in San Diego.
Yeah, but that's how close we were taking pictures and stuff. So then we walked around, and that was on one side, and on the other side, there's another stairway. It looks a little different, but it goes underneath. There's a larger platform, and we go down there, and there's these dudes, and they kind of like, you could tell like they were nervous that we were down there for a second. I didn't know what was going on, and they were like unpacking these bags, and they had all their like boxing equipment. They had like the head, the helmet thing, they had the gloves, they had like the tooth thing, mouth guards and everything. There's 2 guys, then there was like their coach guy, and they're probably like 18-year-olds, and they had like a videographer, just a dude like with a little camera, and the way that it was arranged, like you come down and there's a little platform, and then there's a small room that's shaped perfectly like a boxing ring, and like the coach guy was like up in the corner, like looked like he was just.
I saw the video.
Yeah, and they just like did a full-on little like sparring boxing match, and so we were like, do you guys mind if we watch you? And they're like, oh, okay, because I think they thought we were gonna be mad that they were there, and so we watched it, and the kids were like asking about it, and they did this whole thing. The guy's video, it's got to be up on YouTube by now, I'm sure. And like we applauded them afterwards, and I asked if we could take pictures with them. They're like, yeah, sure, that's cool. It was like, it's funny because I don't particularly care about boxing necessarily, but it was so punk rock. It was like
you're gonna box under this pier.
It is, and they were like, look, there are these guys from the small town. They're trying to do something, and they just found this cool place that was square shaped, and they just boxed under there. Like, I don't know, it just felt like doing a backyard show kind of thing. Just that whole indie spirit, Like I was like stoked for those guys. So I don't know. We've been like Google searching to see if we can find them. We haven't been able to yet, other than the video that we put up, But it was super cool. Okay, final story.
I gotta hear about this because you posted in the Google. Speaking of that, we have a new Radio BrendoMan Facebook group. I talked about it last week. We've had some new members.
Good. Join the group if you can.
Join the group. Post in there if you want to have. Because I figured most people don't see our Facebook updates because the Facebook pages they want you to pay, and it's dumb. So we're still posting stuff on there. But if you subscribe to the group, you will see everything.
Right.
It's posted. So if you want to engage with us, if you want to talk about things you hear about on the show, if you got some cool thing you want to share.
That's a good place to do it.
It's a good place to do it, just any of that.
The other advantage as a listener is that when you post something to our wall on the Facebook page, it kind of gets shoved off to the side.
Yeah.
But on the group, it like goes in the main stream there. So
And we can comment as ourselves without having to like.
Right. But like this is still right in here. Yeah.
Well, there is a way that you can just change it to yourself, but it's a pain.
It's easier to write.
And then I'll forget, and then I'll post the Radio BrendoMan page, and I'm like, why is my post not up there? And it's because I posted as me.
Right.
So it's a pain in the butt. Anyways.
So anyway, as we talked about, the Club Nintendo promotion is like near the end, and I've been working on getting all my final stuff. I had so many surveys and stuff. I was down to the last bit, but right before we left on the trip, I got a copy of Captain Toad's Treasure Trackers.
You did.
Got it. Haven't gotten to play it yet because we bought it like right before we left. Janelle found a deal on it at I can't remember where we were, but anyway. So I got it, and I brought it home because that's one of the last. I think that was the last game that Nintendo published that you could get points on. And I opened it up, and there's no ticket. There's no Club Nintendo code in there. And I don't know if you remember, but this happened.
Like a wrapped, sealed
copy, brand new.
That seems shady. Did somebody take it?
It happened on my Tomodachi.
Or did they when later prints did they just take? Did they just stop?
I Googled. I went on some forums and stuff, and it happened to a lot of people with this and Tomodachi Life. Like later printings of it, they just didn't have it in there. But it's a game that's supposed to get points. So with Tomodachi Life, I did it a few weeks ago. I called up and I just gave them like the serial number off the thing, and they just put it on my thing. So I call them again, and they're like, "Well, I see that you just did this a couple weeks ago. We're only supposed to do like one promo one." Because I guess the idea is anyone could call up and say, "Oh, look up this game, look up whatever the numbers are, and just tell them, And so I was like, oh, I really want these points, and it's this. And they said, well, the only thing we can do is like I know it's close to the deadline, but you can like cut out the barcode on the back and mail it to us, and then we'll that way we have physical proof that you bought it. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I got like started getting emotional. But first, I mean, I already
like, don't you know who I am?
Already, I'm like,
look at how much stuff.
Yeah, look at how much I buy.
See.
Like, I've got hundreds of titles that I've registered. And like, they're like, I know, like, I'm sorry. Like, she's like, I trust you, and she was really nice. I wasn't like yelling. I was like, honestly, like almost in tears, like. So
Nintendo's
passionate.
Crapping on their biggest customer.
No, I'm like, if you look, I said, I even mentioned our show. I said, like, I have a podcast and I talk about it all the time. Our listeners like give me a hard time for being like the Nintendo guy. Like, I promise you, like, I wouldn't do anything to hurt my precious Nintendo, And she's like, and she went and like, she put me on hold and talked to her manager.
I wish I had this conversation.
Matthew was like
right
dying. He was in there. He'll have to come on and give you his perspective on it. And so she went and talked to the manager, and she said, yeah, the only way, and I said, the problem with sending it in, and I said, you're going to laugh about this, but the reason I buy physical copies is I'm a collector. I want it to be nice. I don't want to cut the barcode. I want to cut it up.
Oh,
and
my
she's like,
gosh.
Really? And I'm like, yeah, like, I collect physical. I'm like the last person I realize that does that, but I don't want to cut it up. Plus, I'm on vacation. I don't know where I'm going to mail it, but I really don't want to do that. And, like, is there any other way I can not, like, damage the physical copy? And she's like,
what if you took a picture?
She's like, well, maybe, she goes, maybe you could, no, I said picture, I said or scan or something. She said I couldn't do that. It had to be like a physical thing. And I said, she's like, well, maybe you can find a friend that has it and they can like swap and you can get their undamaged one. I'm like, my friends don't buy physical copies of stuff. I'm the last person that does, But anyway, so she went and checked and I did this big emotional plea and she's like, I'm really sorry. And I said, it's okay. Like, she was super nice. I didn't want her to feel bad. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll send the thing in. Like, it's going to be hard, but I guess it's worth it for the points. And so I did this big old thing, and she gave me the stuff. I wound up going down to the office at the hotel, and because I didn't have scissors, so I got scissors to cut it out. I got a free envelope and a paper and a pen to write the letter because I had to write the information, and I stuck it in and I mailed it out. This was like the first day of vacation. And it was like this big thing. So Matthew, as we're driving to the post office, he's like, okay, I have to ask you, like, you were all passionate about this. You're like practically in tears. How much money is this actually worth? Like these 80 points that you're going to get from this game. And we did the math and figured out, maybe depending if I do trades really well, I can maybe get like $3 worth out of it. And he's like, so all this for $3, you just, the stamp was like, 50 cents or whatever. I'm like, still, and then. And then he's like, points out that Janelle points out, we just had a conversation the week before about buying a new garbage disposal. And she's like, well, do you want to try to install it? And I said, I'll pay $200 more if I don't have to install that thing. I'm not going to attempt that. I'm terrified of that. And he's like, so you would pay $200 to not have to install it, but you spent 3 hours on vacation crying on the phone in Nintendo customer support for your $3 credit. I'm like, it's the principle of the thing.
That's on Bob's Burgers.
That's right. It's true. It is. It's the principle. It doesn't matter if it's more money. It's because
your precious Nintendo.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing, though. They treated me fairly. They were kind, and I get it. I mean, as much as I think
they basically accused you of being a thief.
Well, no. They want proof, and I get it. Because what if somebody just kept calling up and saying, I want these things?
This whole thing is over in like a week.
I know, and it's for digital downloads.
Yeah, you got to figure they're probably getting bombed. Think about all the crazy people on Reddit.
I was probably the least obnoxious person.
Can you imagine having to deal with all those nut jobs?
So I think, given the situation, the lady was super nice. They did give me an opportunity. I already got it. I mean, I already got the code and filled out the survey and everything, so it worked. So they gave me an option. It just, it wasn't as simple as I'd hoped it would be.
Your precious boxes.
All that for $3. I cut it out very neatly, it still was a bummer. But anyway, so that was my Club Nintendo saga on vacation. Okay, final thing.
I wish Josh was here. He'd be going crazy right now.
He probably will be when he hears it.
He would be going absolutely
crazy.
It's
true. Like, and so then what did I get? Like, I got a...
Yeah, what did you get?
Well, I'm going to have one last one. Once all the, final, surveys come back in, I'll get one last thing. But I got the Donkey Kong for Game Boy on 3DS.
Yeah.
It's like the precursor to Mario vs. Donkey Kong. It's not just a...
I knew that. I knew it was like a totally different
I've never
game.
played it before. And it was 150 coins, so I got that.
Yeah, freaking Game Boy game that you could probably go find the physical copy for like.
Yep.
Do you have it?
I don't have it. No.
Okay,
no,
I was gonna say if you already had it.
No, it's one that I don't already have.
You have a lot of Game Boy games.
I have a lot.
Towards the end there, you were buying them in bulk.
I'll be honest. I went and got them all out and went through everything to make sure I wasn't duplicating before I got stuff. Because I
just remember towards the end because they were like. For a while, they were
pennies. I was buying them for pennies. I would go in and drop $10.
You just go to GameStop and you'd come out. I just remember going with you to GameStop and you would buy like a lot. I'll take every Game Boy game. I would just
scoop the shelf and grab them because I was literally spending pennies on them. But so there's a few games I still have never played, but it wasn't that. So okay, last thing. So we came back from vacation. It was a great trip.
Before this show started, we were complaining about the
post office. There's things. Strange things are afoot at the Yucaipa post office.
I was really excited about this like cherry moonshine that I was getting sent for a clout perk.
Yeah.
Like I was like planning on what I was gonna do with it, and I'm pretty sure either some postman stole it or something happened, and like my book. There's some weird stuff going on with the Yucaipa mail, so I want to hear your story.
First of all, we put our mail on hold for basically 10 days while we were gone. I mean,
that just
Sundays
seems like more trouble than it's worth to me.
Well, the problem is they won't deliver it and stuff gets lost because your mailbox gets full, and then it's overflowing and it leads.
I guess I don't get that much mail.
Well, between the four of us. And with bank statements and bills and
all the
junk mail, and so what happens is, they'll just keep shoving it in your box, and then it's overflowing. It's more likely someone will steal it.
Yeah.
For that long, it's worth doing, But, so I thought. So I go to the post office on Monday because they were supposed to start delivering it, and we didn't get any mail on Monday. So, you can also do it where you go pick up. So I thought, well, maybe I accidentally said I was going to go pick it up. So I went in, I waited in line, and first of all, before I even got up there, the lady in front of me, total weirdo, and she starts out I'm just waiting there, and I'm totally tired from my trip.
Was this lady in her 50s, kind of blondish?
No.
Okay, I'm just wondering who, because there was a.
No, she was probably late 40s, dark hair, short.
There was a full-on tweaker in front of me.
Well.
And she dropped her wallet, and all this money came out, and then she just was about to walk out of the
Did she have scars
post office.
Around her neck? Because that lady was behind me.
Yes.
Okay.
So she drops a ton of money, and then just starts walking out of the thing, and four of us are hey, and she just keeps walking, and we're you just dropped all of your money. It's ugh, and then she just does oh man.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was the lady behind me. So first, I get in line behind this lady. It's a super long line, and she's like, "Hey man, you stoned?" I was "What? No." And she's like, "You look totally stoned right now." I'm like. I'm tired. We just got back from vacation. Oh yeah, it's cool, man. I'm stoned right now. Is it cool? I'm
Yucaipa.
I'm all right. Well, I'm not, but whatever. That's cool. And she's like, well, tell me about your vacation, man. And I'm like, oh, we drove up the coast. And she's like, oh, I used to live by the beach. Okay, keep in mind I'm telling a story, so I'm allowed to say this. But she's like, oh, cool. I grew up by the beach, but the bad one, Long Beach. I'm like, oh yeah, I know Long Beach. She's like. It was bad when I used to live there. And she looks around her shoulder. She's like, it was all blacks. And I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and then as I'm trying to process how do I respond to someone that's being so horribly offensive to me, this other lady comes up who was this tweaker lady, probably in her 50s, blonde hair, just sketched out. I'll tell you who she reminded me of is Adam Sandler's girlfriend in The Wedding Singer, when she's in a Van Halen t-shirt, except actually strung out kind of thing.
I think I've seen that lady too. I feel there's a few tweakers of notice in Yucaipa.
So she comes up behind and she interrupts the lady as she's talking about all the horrible blacks in Long Beach, and she leans her. She's like, "Hey, I saw you at CVS." She's like, "Oh, do you work there?" "No, you talked to me when I was having a bad day." And we
CVS is a total tweaker hangout.
And she's
because I go there when I have my cravings for
get your Easter candy on.
Yeah, but I always have to dodge some tweakers. There's usually some homeless, not homeless, but I never know what's gonna happen because they just start talking to you and you're just what do you want? And half the time they're just talking to you and I'm this dude just started. I'm standing by the drink case in there, and this guy just looks at me. He's like, because this guy comes in, and as soon as this dude comes in, they're like, security checked the aisles, and then so the guy comes up to me, he's like, does that ever happen to you, man? And I'm like, no, what did you do? And he's like, nothing, man. I'm like, would you get in trouble? He's like, maybe. I'm like, what is happening right now? It's 11 p.m. I came here to get some combos and a Mexican Coke, and now I'm like, I don't know what this tweaker dude wants. But they just, like, and it's happened. And then there's that weird dude that works there. That dude is weird. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You kaipa, man.
So,
anyway, sorry.
No, okay, no. I mean, you're on the right track, because... So they're having this conversation. I'm in the middle of the thing.
You're in the middle of a tweaker conversation.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, yeah, I remember. And she's like, how's it going? She's like, well, I had to leave my husband and kids because I was all strung out, but I've been cleaned up for a couple weeks now, and I'm back in town. And Leigh's like, oh, that's great. That's great. And she's like, yeah, but the problem is, like, I'm making up for it with booze. You can probably smell me from this guy. And she points at me. She's like, this guy right here is probably going to knock over from just how bad my breath. Can you smell me? And I'm like... Well, you're in luck because I have like the worst sense of smell. I can't smell anything. And the lady's like, "Oh, let me smell."
Are you like dying right now?
Okay, if you could see me, because I'm at the counter and they're leaned over, and I have like my hand here because I want to like save my space in line. So I got my hand out on the counter, but they're like leaned out over my arm. And they're breathing on, and she's like, "Let me smell." So she breathes on. She's like, "You're fine, honey." No, she's like, "That's good."
Got a tweaker and a drunk,
And so then, like, they're having this conversation.
Great.
And so then they call up the lady in front of me. So I'm almost to the front by this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, please someone like finish so I can get up there. I got my hand out on the counter still. And so the tweaker lady behind me starts talking to me, and she's like, so you live around Yucky Poo? And I'm like, yeah, what? And she's like, I call this place Yucky Poo. This place is a dump hole, And I'm like. Ukaipa's really pretty. She's like, depends on where you're from. Wait, where do you live in Ukaipa? She's like, I'm from 3rd Avenue. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm off of there. No, she was on 4th or 5th Avenue E. I don't know, wherever it was. Yeah, probably. And I'm like
the
3rd.
Trailer park up there, probably.
And she's like, well, which side on 3rd? Like this side or that
this,
side?
Like,
and I'm
gang
like, I don't know, like that side. And like she's like, that's the good side. I'm from the bad side. And then right then the lady's like, oh, can I help you, sir? And I'm like, I gotta go. And I like run up to the counter. So already I'm like, my head is in a weird place. Like this is the most awkward conversation. I'm like, please just get me out of here. So I go up to the front and I said, we're waiting for the mail hold. It didn't show, so I thought maybe it was still here. She goes in the back.
Threw away all your mail.
They don't have our mail. There's no mail.
No mail?
They had 2 packages that had come.
So where did all the mail go?
She said, well, maybe it got, maybe the guy took it out on the thing and you crossed paths or something. This is at like 4:30. I'm like, all right.
Well, sometimes they do come like super late.
So sometimes, so I went home. There was no mail there. So today we got like 3 pieces of mail, like a normal day's worth of mail, like bank statement things, and the little card that said that our mail hold was up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they signed it and put it in there, so we knew that they delivered. That was it. 10 days worth of mail, and it's gone. And so we went back to the post office, and Janelle like brought the card, and she went in this time, and they said, "Oh yeah, we don't have it. There's nothing we can do."
So where is it?
She's like, "You can file a complaint online, but we can't do anything about it here."
Where's your mail?
I don't know. 10 days worth of mail.
Did they just send it back to? No, dude, I'm telling you, there is a pit here somewhere.
There's like a lost mail hole. I don't know.
Either that or is there some crazy mail thieves? Because okay,
but how would they have stolen it? We were here. I was there all day.
They were holding the mail.
Yeah, I mean, someone maybe at the post office steals it. I don't know.
Something's going on.
Because they don't have my 10 days of mail. And I mean, it's bills and stuff. That's kind of a pain.
I've had certain things just like disappear. I feel like there's some mail that I had because like. I didn't know that I had like an electric bill due because I never got it.
Yeah.
And then one day, like I get it, and they're like, "We've been trying. We sent you." I'm like, "This is the first bill." So
something's going on.
And I don't know. One time the mail lady came over here. Do you have a lady or a dude?
We have a dude.
So I got a lady, and she's like, "Wait, who are you?" And I'm like, "Creasy." She's like, "Oh." She said, "What are you even doing with all the other people's mail?" I'm like, "There is no other people's mail." She's like, "No, I've delivered some other mail." I'm like, why are you delivering mail that you know people don't live here? Like, what is happening right now? And finally my neighbor's like, yeah, people steal mail here. Because this post office lady was trying to accuse me of stealing previous tenants' mail. She's like, what have you been doing with that mail? I'm like, I don't have any.
And the thing is, like, most of it, like, what are you going to do with it? I realize, like, identity thief, but what are you going to do with it? What good is it going to do for you to have that?
You shouldn't throw it away. You shouldn't throw that away. I'm like, isn't it? I'm sorry that you keep delivering mail to the wrong place because you obviously know they don't live here because you're asking me.
Right.
Like,
what do you do with it?
Like, what do you do with it? And I'm like, where? And I almost want to be like, where's my book?
Yeah, you have my book. Give me back my book. So I don't know. 10 days worth of our mail, bills. I don't know. If somebody sent me something in the mail, I don't have it. That doesn't happen usually, but.
The only mail I get is bills and junk mail.
It is, but I mean the bills would be nice to have so we know what we're
I think I finally canceled that stupid Red magazine.
You got rid of it?
Well, they sent me an email saying, "Hey, we're gonna send you more of this." I'm like, and then I managed to click it because they're the only place that like managed to track.
Because they're
stupid red bulletin.
Magazines are the worst. Magazines and newspapers.
Oh.
We still get things in the mail from LA Times from when Karen signed up for it when she lived with us like 10 years ago or whatever that was.
Well, because they need you bad. Like, buy newspapers, please.
I'm not buying your stupid newspaper.
Please. Have you seen like every day now is like $2?
Really?
It used to be a quarter.
Yeah.
It was a quarter and Sunday was 50
$2?
cents. Old people.
You know how much it cost me to go on the internet
so
and look
now,
at that information?
If you know the old dude that's like buying that's going away. $60 a month.
Yeah, but that's gonna.
For paper.
That will literally die out with that generation.
$60 because it's I think it might be $2.50.
Well, then Sundays are what like
Sundays? I think Sundays $2.50 and early to $2. But I just remember 25 and 50 cents.
Yeah. Well, no one's buying them.
They gotta pay those people, I guess.
They need to get on a new system.
What do you think the rate of return on those advertisements in newspapers are? Like, who sees those?
I don't know. Like the AARP ads, I guess maybe.
Is it all old people? I haven't looked at a newspaper and seriously
because it's not just like old. I mean, like my parents don't read the newspaper.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like old.
So it's like people. old people. It's like my grandpa.
Only people who are reading newspapers anymore.
And then I think like really old people go to the library to read the newspaper.
Yeah, and exactly. So they're not even buying a copy. I don't know. That is a dying industry there.
No, that's why they're all like, I mean, the Wall Street Journal is behind a paywall.
Yeah.
That's why I always get mad when somebody posts a Wall Street Journal link because it just comes, screw you.
Yeah. I'll find this information.
I'll just type the headline and get it from somewhere.
Get it anywhere else. So, still, though, if you're interested in moving to Yucaipa, don't let this scare you away. It's just a post office issue.
There are a lot of tweakers here.
Well, let me tell you, I came face to face with more of them than I had previously.
They're all at the post office, and it's CVS.
My goodness, it was the worst conversation. I wish someone had taken a picture of me because to me, I looked ridiculous with my arm out between them. Like, I don't want to.
I know how you get when you're uncomfortable, and I could just imagine it right now.
I'm probably doing the kind of laughing and big smile. And
you and Janelle both have an uncomfortable laugh where I know. Like, we need to get you out of this situation. Like, Janelle does it when she's, like, pretending to be nice to people.
Yeah.
And that's where I would, like, when I hear, like, that specifically, I get kind of scared when I hear that Janelle. Because, like, if we're out in public, and that means that when she gets back in the car, she's going to yell or something.
Yeah.
Or, like, do something.
Or if they don't do what she wants at that point, then she's going to turn into the rager. Well, and then that's the other part is that I'm in there, and Janelle and the kids are waiting in the car during all this, and so the line is taking forever, and it's just, oh my gosh, it was so bad. Yucky poo. She thought that was real clever. Like it's pretty. Like, don't. And what makes people think like that you're gonna be like. Your audience that you're talking to is going to be fine with you being a horrible racist. Like, like, I guess if you're a horrible racist, you just don't care what other people think.
If you're a racist tweaker and Yucaipa, you probably just assume everybody else.
You're fine with this. And, I mean, the lady that works there is black. There's a couple people in line that are black. Like, so she has to, like, do the look around over her shoulders to, like, do, like, the fake, they were all blacks. I'm like, oh, my gosh. You're a horrible person. Don't talk to me in the post office. Leave me alone.
There's a really funny Dead Like Me where Rube, it's Manny Patinkin's character, has to go to the post office. And so, like, he intentionally, like, as soon as this lady tries to talk to him, he's like, oh, he's got it all prepared. So he's got, like, a book. He's got things, like, writing down. And then, like, so he's, like, purposely ignoring her. And then someone in front does a Friends cut. And he just goes... He like basically guilts them into going to the back of the line. The whole place claps, but it's just really like every time he goes, it's always something.
That's
like,
the thing.
The friend cut thing is the worse because people in Ukaipa do it all the time. Because of course everybody knows everybody here.
Yeah.
I got friend cutted at freaking.
And they do the like, oh, how's it going?
Oh, it was at CVS. I got friend cutted at CVS.
That's why I had to keep my arm out.
And I'm just like, it's not cool, man.
No.
Because that freaking dude CVS already takes forever because they got their ATM thing asks you like 5 things.
Yeah.
Because it's like, put in your number for the code. Do you want this? Do you want that? Yes or no? Do you want a receipt? It's like taking forever. And then this dude who's always there is asking, just so freaking weirdo. He's the kind of dude that works the late shift at CVS on a Tuesday night.
Right.
And then he's just like being weird, or he's like perving on some other girl that's there, just being weird every time, and it adds, and you're just sitting there, just like, I want to get out of here. This is not working. I just want my.
Give me my combos.
I want my frosted combos.
Okay. So that was the other worst part.
And he judges your purchases.
Oh yeah. You don't buy like personal products there. You have to go to Walgreens if you want to buy personal.
Like
products.
he judged. I bought the new like bacon, the like cheddar Lay's or something. He's like, these are terrible. And he's like, you sure you want them? I'm like, yes, I want the freaking chips.
Give me the chips.
I'm like, what are you like food? Like instead of comic book guy or CVS guy? Like, oh gosh.
Because he's the kind of guy I can imagine being like, oh, try not to get pregnant, huh? Yeah, it's a good brand. Magnums, eh? Okay, the worst part of the post office debacle is that, think about whenever you've been in a super long line at the post office and there's one person working the counter, what does the dude come out and say? Well, pickups, mail holds, you know what I mean? And he's not willing to help anyone that actually needs help in line. And the whole time I was there, he never came out to say, like, mail hold. So when I get up to the counter is when he comes out to ask about mail hold. So I'm already there at that point. But at any point, he could have come out and rescued me, and he never did. Never asked.
You were there.
He knew.
He totally knew.
He sees me like standing there with my little mail hold.
He's like, oh, that's a mail hold guy.
I'm not going out for that. He looks out from the back, sees when there's no one that has little slips or anything, and that's when he comes out and yells about it.
Then I feel bad for it, because I can't imagine what it must be like to work at a post office.
Oh, no. And it's not like I took it out on the people that work there, but still.
But it's still just
like... I did lose all my mail.
Can you imagine that?
No.
My friend's dad worked at the post office, but he was at least like a mail carrier, but he hated every day of his life. I remember, like Kevin Smith's dad worked at the, and like that's what it was purely like, it was like the dad from Freaks and Geeks, like, I work to serve you, my family, and that's it, and I don't enjoy it.
Right.
Even the guy, at least in Freaks and Geeks, he owned his own business, but it was still horrible. But like at the post office, is like, this is a job, and it sucks, but I do it because it pays really well.
Right.
But it's still a horrible. Because I just remember my friend's dad, Chuck. He would get home, and there was like the cooling off period where it's like, you do not bother Chuck. Don't talk to Chuck. Chuck will murder you, and like, but then like give him a couple hours and he's fine, and that's why he bought the La Paloma movie theater, was because he hated his life at the post office so much, and then he retired from the post office and became a teacher, and then he's retired from teaching and he just travels all the time, so at least he got a happy ending.
That's
but
good.
Some of those people,
I know. Again, like I say, I would never take it out on them, but it is frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
So that's that. What do you got?
I got, we'd already talked about school.
Yep.
I went hiking with Gates last Saturday. It was awesome. It was crazy because it was like 92 degrees at the beach. So Gates had like called me. He's like, "You sure? Should we even do this?" But it was like cooler here than it was at the beach.
People don't understand. Like, I think they think we live in a desert.
Well, he totally did, because when he got here, he's like, "It's green here. This is amazing." Like, he loved it.
Yeah, we don't live in a desert.
And so, but we took him up. We went on the big hill trail.
Did you do the zigzag one?
We did it. We made it pretty. But then, like, once you get to like the plateau, but then there's like a whole other level, and it gets crazy. So we actually didn't even, because it gets like, everybody we saw was stopping, but there's you can get higher, but it gets crazy steep.
Is there more like drop-offs?
Yes.
So it's, okay.
Well, the higher you get, it's actually not as bad, but once you get up, it's beautiful up there. It was gorgeous. Like we got there, like we started at like, and also we did it on a Saturday morning, and it was like we got to the trailhead at like 9:30. It was the parking lot was full.
Oh,
full,
really?
Totally full, and like there was people parking on the street, like it was packed. There's tons of people.
So did he like it though?
He loved it.
Oh, good.
So it was good catching up with Gates.
That's cool.
So that was cool, and then we went to Big Boy, and here is something if you had known about this, I feel like you would have told me.
Okay.
Big Boy has an amazing breakfast buffet.
Oh, really?
It's only $10, and it's seriously like everything.
Huh.
So we had a nice breakfast.
Nice.
It was great. So that Big Boy has a breakfast buffet, and it's pretty amazing.
It's a good Big Boy in general.
They got eggs, pancakes, waffles, churros.
Churros for breakfast?
Yes.
Nice.
All kinds of goodies. Like
That's cool.
all different, like 5 different kinds of eggs. You want chorizo and eggs. You want this and eggs. You want this. It's seriously $9 on the week, and it's every day. It's cheaper on the weekdays.
Really?
And it's cheaper for kids, and it was great.
That's cool. I knew they do like the salad bar buffet for lunch and dinner or whatever.
Oh yeah, so they have a breakfast buffet.
That's cool.
It's freaking awesome. And then Jerry, this past weekend, so that was the first weekend, like
right,
we were gone, and then this past Friday, so just this past Friday, Jerry invited me to Carrie the Musical at the La Mirada Theater. First of all, I've never been in that La Mirada Theater.
I have not either.
It's like super nice. Like they film like on like A&E and stuff when they have like A&E Peter Pan and stuff, like it was on like in the 90s. They filmed that there. Apparently just because of the size and like the setup, it's like an ideal theater for filming live like opera and Broadway stuff.
Right.
So, okay. Carrie the Musical, as soon as he said Carrie the Musical, I was like, shut up. Because if you have any familiarity with Stephen King or Broadway, Carrie the Musical came out in 1988, and at the time, it was the biggest Broadway flop of all time.
Oh, really?
Like, it was seriously open for like 2 days, and it was just a disastrous disaster. I was explaining to Jerry, I'm like, you don't understand, 13-year-old me would be freaking out right now because for a while it was like this mythical thing. Because like that was over and done with. I found out about Stephen King like when I was like 12, 13, and like this was pre-internet. So when I really got into Stephen King, I found like a couple books about him and just reading through those. And then I would read like magazine. I remember going through like microfiche because again I lived in the junior high library and we had microfiche. So sometimes when I get really bored, I just look up things on. I'd be like, oh, let's see, look up articles about video games. Like, oh, this Newsweek article about this.
Right.
This is seriously. So then for a while I got really into like looking up like on LexisNexis. But we didn't have. It wasn't the internet. It was like you'd look, I don't know, some kind of database. It was like on discs.
Yeah.
And then it would point you. So there was the catalog for at least they had digitized the catalog for the microfiche. It was like computer discs. And then it would tell you which microfiche to look up. And then you have the microfiche thing. And you could, remember at our school, we had a microfiche printer. That was like a big deal. So you could you didn't have to just look at them in that like microfiche projector. You could actually just straight up print stuff out. And so I would look up these articles, and that's where I found out about Carrie the Musical. And I'm like, I cannot believe that was a thing, because that's crazy already. And then like it was this like huge, this big time producer. It was like he lost a fortune, and so I didn't know that they had revived it in like 2012. And they basically, because at first I'm like, how much of the old musical is there? And quite a bit of it is still there. Like the songs, they took out some songs because there's there's bootleg YouTube videos of the 1988 songs.
Oh, really?
But it's like cut and patched, and some of it's like promotional. Like, it's hard to find actual performance footage. There's a lot of like from like a rehearsal and like, but. So like some of the stuff out there's like no sets and everything, but the music is like very 80s, and even the music was still kind of 80s, and so, but they like revised some of the songs, they added new songs, and they also modernized it. Okay. So like the kids have cell phones, and they cuss a lot, and it's actually a pretty good portrayal of like just being around high school, like they're on their phones all the time, and they're rude kids and stuff. And you got to think the central themes of Carrie with the bullying, like it still resonates today. And the way they do it at the La Marmota Theater, and this is where it was like revolutionary, and is it's like the plate, it's like a theater in the round almost.
Okay.
Like you're at three sides, the audience, you get in there, first you're like walking through, they made the like walk to get to where the play is, you're like walking through the high school, there's like lockers and stuff.
That's cool.
And then they're like, time for your, like, you got wristbands, and then like blue section to report to your homeroom, and like you go there, and like, and then you're like, this starts off in the gym, so it's like, but you're like in the bleachers, and that's like, so it looks like bleacher seating. So most of it they use, like, it takes place in the gym, but there's other, but they kind of, but you're right there in the, and they're right, you're like, they're in the middle, and you're surrounding it, and then the people in the lower levels, because there's like 2 tiers of seating.
Right.
Their seats, they're like these 4 like pods of like, they're like these pod things with like seats on them, and they actually move those around throughout the show.
Huh.
And like that was
so
crazy.
Like in the show.
Yeah. And like to the point where even like during the dance scene, like a couple of the cast members grab people from the audience, and but like, so it's like straight up Carrie, like, because it's the guy that wrote the screenplay for the Brian De Palma movie, wrote the book for this, and it's the same book. They just, again, they modernize a little bit, but there's a lot of nudity, which is, I've never seen like stage nudity before, so that was a little crazy. It's also, they go all out. Like, I think they realize how ridiculous this is, so there's some really crazy scenes. There's like a scene where like she's, because like her mom's like super religious, and like, so there's a scene where like Carrie's like gets locked in her closet and she's praying, and like Jesus is like on a cross, and it's like a dude, and then like he like floats off the cross, and like it's so crazy. And then while that's going on, like the bad kids are like up in this area, and they're like full on like doing it, and like naked, and like, so it's like this like you get the whole imagery, and like, but like it's like you're like, I cannot believe this is a thing that is happening. But the way they did it was so awesome. And then like, it's the special effects, like especially at the end and stuff, like with all the ESP stuff, were amazing. And like they full on like the blood, like this girl gets blood dumped on her every night.
It's crazy. And
like just covered in blood, there's blood everywhere. There's like all kinds of crazy special effects. Like when she goes into full on like Carrie mode, like people are just flying all over the place. Like stuff is like falling from the ceilings, and like it was awesome. It was cool.
Really good.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's nuts. It's like, it's not. There were like some old people there that were like, oh wow, you guys have no idea what you're in for. I mean, but I mean, like, how do you not know? But like, because there were some people that like could tell left after the intermission. I'm like, how do you not know what Carrie the music was like?
I guess if you just didn't know, you just
plus there was signs and everything where it's like nudity and blood. I'm like, what could this possibly be?
How could that be offensive?
Yeah. So it was cool, and the La Marmota Theater was cool, and it was great hanging out with Jerry. And then we went to Fullerton, hang out. They finally built a giant parking garage. It's like if you turn right instead of left to go to Spaghetti Factory.
Okay.
Remember when there was just that parking lot there by the alley, kind of, and it was a nightmare?
Yeah.
They built a giant parking garage there, and now there's no more parking problems in downtown Fullerton.
Really?
And it's free.
Oh, that's cool.
Because this was Friday night, because I'm like, she's like, let's go downtown Fullerton. I'm like, no, like, that's terrible. Why would we want to do that? And she's like, oh, no, there's a parking garage now. It's been there for a while, and, like, you just park there and then walk to where you want to go, and it was great.
Wow.
And there's all kinds of new restaurants in downtown Fullerton. And we went to this place called the Burger Parlor, and we didn't have, because we had eaten beforehand, but I had some fries, and they were just a really cool place.
That's cool.
There's lots of cool. It's every time I go back, there's like more stuff.
Huh. And yet no hub.
No hub. I miss the hub so much.
Yeah.
All right, so that was pretty much what I did.
Cool. So good hanging out with Jerry.
Yeah.
That's cool because you were just talking about.
It was just funny because she is. The more I thought about it, I'm like, wow, like, I don't need April Richardson because, like, April is like a total Morrissey nut, and, like, Jerry...
You already have
Morrison,
that.
I already have that. I still want to be friends with April Richardson.
That's cool.
But,
I'm glad you got to hang out with Jerry.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool.
We had a good time.
What's up, Jerry?
Yeah. All right. Did you watch any movies?
I did.
Oh wait, we're not. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Don't get ahead of our.
I'm skipping.
What are you doing?
All right, book corner. So I finished. I did read a lot of books.
All right.
So I finished Wizard's First Rule.
Yeah. Final.
It was really good. It got really crazy towards the end.
Yeah.
But so I think I see why your brother didn't like it, but I liked it.
And according to him, it gets more crazy as like the series goes on.
I like crazy. So.
I'm just saying that's
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes was incredible.
Yeah.
Like they're all. Somebody on Reddit though was telling me like some of his later books, when he got really into spiritualism, it bleeds into the Sherlock Holmes books, and those ones he says are just really weird, but it's very different, but they're still really good.
Yeah. Because initially it's very like scientific, Yeah.
But the one that scared the freaking crap out of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is a bunch of short stories,
right?
And I forgot what the name of it is, but it was one where like I guess I'll spoil it if I tell what it is, but it's like where this guy is like trying to kill his like his stepdaughter, and he kills one of them, and then they find out that like the way he kills them, because they wake up in the middle of the night, they hear the woman screams, and then they die, and they don't know what's happening because they can't tell what she's dying of. She just falls over and dies, and it turns out he like has this like the deadliest snake in the world locked in a safe, and then he releases it up through like a hole, and then the snake kills him, and then he knows how to like get it to come back because he's got a whistle,
right?
And that's how they die, and he kills them with the snake, and then the snake ends up killing the guy because like Holmes like managed to figure it out and like sends it back, and like
so good.
But it was like, but then I just thought the idea of like a snake coming in the middle of the night to kill me is terrifying.
Yeah. So there's some great stuff. I remember one of my favorites it's like the Red-Headed Clue or something. Did you read that one?
I don't know. I read a lot of them. There's a bunch of different.
Red-Headed. Shoot, I have to look at what it's called. Anyway, good ones.
Oh, was it the one where it was like the guy got invited into the Red-Headed Society,
that's
and then you're like, what the heck is this?
Yes.
It turned out it was they were digging. They had to get him out. There was this elaborate con to get him out of his office while it was bank robbers, and they were digging under his office into the bank.
Yep, that's
and I'm like, that's crazy. But like all of that stuff that you see all the time, like it's all ripped off of Sherlock Holmes.
Because this was this is over 100 years ago.
Yeah,
you know,
like all these crazy things. Like these dudes tunneling bank robbers, using a front to tunnel into a bank. Like you see that all the time. But like
that's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It makes me
the whole elaborate like because he gets a note. Somebody puts an ad in the paper for like the Red-Headed
Society or something,
and they just have him go in so he gets paid. They pay him like £100 a week or something. It's like go into this office and you just copy things out of the dictionary, and then we pay. But it's because we have to have you do some work, and it's this wealthy guy that wanted to help red-headed people,
right?
And it turns out because he takes this, and then one day they're gone. So he's like, "What happened to this?" And then he's like, "What was this?" And Sherlock Holmes, so he's like, "What was this?" And the whole time you're just reading this, like, "What? This doesn't even make any sense."
Right.
And then it turns out it was these con men that's how they got him out of his business every day. Yep. He couldn't be there while they're digging this tunnel.
That was like, I think that might have even been the first one that I read that like got me into wanting to read more.
And it's like, holy crap, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And the story, like they're just these elaborate, crazy things. Like, nothing is like sometimes it's the most obvious choice, but a lot of them it's so elaborate. Like there was one, it's so crazy. Like, because remember I told you that Stephen King story about the dude posing as a homeless guy? So, like, that's from Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. There is a Sherlock Holmes mystery in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes where the wife, basically what happens is the wife thinks that she comes to Holmes to say, my husband has either been kidnapped or murdered. I was walking downtown. I normally don't go downtown, but I went downtown, and I saw him hanging, like, waving at me out of a window, and then he disappeared, and I haven't seen him since. And it turned out what was going on, and basically the guy they had hauled in a homeless dude saying, oh, he obviously knows something or he did it, and because he was there at the time.
Right.
And then through this crazy period of investigation, which involves Sherlock Holmes like disguising himself in an opium den or something. Wait, no, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting them all mixed up. But so after this crazy elaborate thing, it turns out that that the homeless guy is the husband. He was changing into his costume when he saw his wife at the window, so he freaked out, and then he stashed his clothes in the river, and that's what they found, his clothes, and thought he was there. And he had changed back as a homeless guy, and then they arrested him, and he didn't know what to do, so then, like...
So he just poses as the homeless guy. Yeah.
It's just some crazy... And that's how he was... Because he's like, I made more money doing that than I did in my regular job, and it was easy. So...
Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
Okay, so now that you've read this, you have to watch the BBC Sherlock. Like,
I know.
Have to.
I know.
Have to. Because there's a new season, or a new special, I guess, that they're working on.
Yeah.
So, in anticipation of that, you should definitely do that.
I know. So then I also finished The Light Fantastic, and Terry Pratchett died.
I saw that on vacation, actually.
Very sad, but it was he had been battling Alzheimer's for a really long time.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, it's just been really sad, and reading people's tributes to him, especially Neil Gaiman, who was like their best friends.
Yeah.
And so that was, but Life Fantastic, amazing. I'm on board. Like they're so funny. They're so clever. I got some heat on Twitter for saying just as good, if not better than Adams, and this guy. But he had never read Pratchett. But just that sounds absurd. That's a tough I'm telling you.
Comparison.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Because my gateway to Pratchett was, if you're not sure, read Good Omens, because that's Pratchett and Gaiman.
Right.
And it's amazing. And then, I'm telling you, I read the first one, The Light Fantastic, not the Color of Magic.
Right.
And just his word, it's so funny.
All right.
And so clever.
I mean, it sounds like I need to do it.
They're so good. They're really great stories. And then I am probably 3/4 of the way done with Story Thieves, which I see you haven't even started reading yet.
I did nothing on vacation.
You don't read on vacation, which is weird, because I get so much reading done on vacation.
You know, sometimes I don't get a chance. Okay, before we had kids, I did a lot.
Yeah.
Because when there's downtime in the hotel room,
there is no downtime.
There isn't downtime, and we're doing fun stuff, and so I bring my books with me, but I rarely get a chance to.
No. Story Thieves is nuts.
Yeah?
It's good. Yeah. It's really good. I'm just like, where is he going with this?
But you know he's going somewhere good.
Well, like, that was because it's really good. It gets so meta. Like, it gets... It's just... And it's it's really dark.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. This James Riley's book,
it's really
by the way,
good. You're gonna freak out.
Oh, I mean, I gotta catch up now.
Basically, if anybody doesn't know what it's about these kids, and one of them has the power to jump into books, and stuff happens. Things get crazy.
So it's like Gumby. He can jump into any book with his pony pal Pokey.
Man, yeah, I do not.
Are you serious?
Guess I haven't watched Gumby in forever.
He can jump into any book with his pony pal Pokey too.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, and so they go in and they're like fighting knights and stuff.
That's how they. I just remember. I guess when I watched it, I was young and I didn't know the story.
That's what it was. Yeah,
that's why
that's the theme song.
If you want to listen to it's really twisted, but it still holds up to me as the funniest thing that happened on Bagged and Boarded. Was I did not realize that Babar is an orphan.
Oh, yeah.
And all the stories in Babar are flashbacks.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, because I guess I didn't watch the show, so Matt Cohen had watched the show on HBO.
You saw the movie.
I read the books.
You read the books. Okay.
And I think when I was reading them, I didn't read. I just looked at the pictures.
Right.
So, there's grown-up Babar, and he's flashbacking to when he was a kid.
Right.
I thought there was kid Babar, and then grown-up Babar was his parents,
like
and I just thought it was this family of elephants. But no, Babar is the most depressing thing ever,
it's a dark story.
And I did not I just thought it was about a little kid elephant and his parents. But no, that is adult Babar telling the story of when he was a kid and life was horrible.
Yeah.
And I did not get that. So when Matt tells me that, you can tell the moment I have this realization, like, whoa. And I'm really depressed. Like, I'm genuinely, it was like years of tears that would have been shed. Like, it was weird.
What did I read? What was I reading all those?
Like, when I had that realization, so
you can understand then to a much lesser degree how I was kind of shocked when I found out that Carmen Sandiego was the bad guy. I mean, not as emotional, but still just as shocking.
Yeah. But Story Thieves is great. I can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because it'll spoil.
I'm ready to launch
everything into it in that book. It's like, it's great.
So if you guys, that in particular, book club reading that one.
So I take it I can wait a little bit to start Princess Bride.
Yeah, we got some time. I'm so far behind. Again, as you'll see. But you guys should join us because we're going to be having James Riley, the author, on our show at some point in the future.
Once you read the book.
Once I get around to reading it,
by like tomorrow.
I got to get on it. So I read a lot more when I'm at home though, so that's good.
All right.
And then what's this?
Smoke. There's a really long title. It's called like Smoke: The Story of How a Small Town Girl Ended Up Stealing. I don't know, smuggling. Well, it's by a friend of mine, Miley Cady, and you will appreciate. She's from Bremerton, Washington.
Oh, nice, the home of MXPX.
And she moved here to become an actress. And I don't know if you were familiar with this, because again, you said you don't read newspapers, but
nope.
Do you remember this whole thing a few years ago where there was this woman who claimed she was the Samsung heiress, and then it turned out she was smuggling insane amounts of marijuana to like the Midwest from Los Angeles, and she had a whole crew of people. One of them was a girl that she hired as her personal assistant who eventually got sucked in to the whole thing, and by the time she realized what was going on, it was too late, and then anything.
Okay.
But that was my friend Miley,
oh.
who got sucked in this whole thing, and then ended up bargaining with the DEA, but she still got put on house arrest for a year.
Huh.
And she actually wrote a blog while she was on house arrest, which was fascinating.
Wow.
Called House Arrest Girl. And I think that's being turned into a TV show.
Okay.
But this is her book about how she ended up smuggling 6,000 pounds of marijuana on an airplane.
Like unawares?
Mostly unawares. I think at some point when she figured it out, it was like she was in too deep.
Right.
Because this woman was not who she said she was and was deeply connected with the cartels.
Right.
So she kind of went along with it out of her own fear for her own life at a certain point, and that's why the DEA cut a deal with her. And like they took to get like how that whole thing works.
Right.
Like you tell us who you work for and how that works, and we'll cut you a deal and blah, blah, blah. So then Miley wrote a book about it, and it just came out, and she's actually doing like a book tour and stuff, and like it's a big deal. So
that's cool.
It's pretty cool. So it's crazy, like reading it, because I mean, it's just like, but it makes sense once because I know Miley, because like a lot of people, like I was reading some reviews, like, no way, is this real, or would anybody be that dumb, or like, but like, first of all, I've been close enough to Bremerton to know it's like in the middle of freaking nowhere, Washington. So like, and she was a very like she had a very pretty sheltered life there, and just hadn't been exposed to drugs, especially on that. Like she if you, depending on where you live or what you grew up around, like this guy's probably a drug dealer, or this is like if somebody,
even me and Big Bear, I knew the guys.
And also just things like if you're friends with somebody that is obviously wealthy, but you have no idea what they really do for a living, and they're gone for huge amounts of time. And then she takes you to a house, which is obviously a drug dealer's house. She might be a drug something going on,
right.
But because I mean, again. Just,
I
feel like this could happen to you.
I mean, it seems plausible to me because
so
if you're not
it's a
thinking along
fascinating
those lines,
story. If you're looking for some like a quick read, because I'm like already I got it yesterday on Kindle and I'm already like more than halfway done.
Okay.
Also, she kind of goes into like what it's like because I've that's like that typical story of like girl trying to become an actress, but like she gives like here's what this was like, and it also explains why she might have been more susceptible because she was after her first couple of years here she was scrounging
broken desperate.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, but I mean, just getting the like what that is actually like for somebody to go through, moving here right out of high school, leaving your family and everything behind for this dream, and then to not have it work out the way you want.
Right.
So that part is very touching and well done, and I've just gotten to like where it gets crazy with the drug stuff.
That sounds cool.
It's a good book, and Miley's really cool, so I highly recommend it. It's called Smoke. Just came out. You can get it on Kindle or in bookstores. And if you're in, I know she has a website or something, but look up on Facebook. I know she's doing some book signing. She's doing one at Book Soup in LA Thursday. So,
okay.
Which that's cool.
Cool.
That's like another. That's like I think that's. I mean, that's a pretty good. That would be, man, that's like a dream, like doing a book signing.
Yeah.
Remember when we were gonna do a freaking Brax book release at Smart Castle? That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well, what are you reading?
Well, again, I didn't read it. I read. I had to put on there. That's literally the only thing I read on vacation is Game Informer. I got an issue in the mail the day before we left. Before they lost all my mail, so at least I got the Game Informer.
Yeah, what would you have done if they lost?
I don't know. I would have been. I just go down to the GameStop. They give them out. But here, I didn't get my magazine. They do. I'm telling you.
They're like, people still read these?
Yeah. Every time I sign up, they're like, "Do you want to get the digital copy?" I'm like, "Nope. I want the real thing." And they're like, "Really? Okay.
Who are you?
You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah. I want it."
Hey man, that's good toilet reading.
That's exactly what it is. That's where I read all my Game Informers. That's the only reason I got to read on vacation is I brought it, and that's what I read in the bathroom. So I didn't even read any more of anything. So
you still just Kingdom Keeper sitting there.
Yep, it's just in there. Again, I brought them. I brought that in Story Thieves, and didn't do it.
Let's do this.
I watched 2 new movies. New movies.
Oh, you saw Into the Woods. Wow.
Well, here's the thing. This was super awesome. On vacation, Cinderella came out. And we wanted to go see that with the kids. There was a drive-in in San Luis Obispo. Wow. Right, it's like literally, I don't know, half a mile from the Banana Inn.
Yeah.
Right across
I don't want to
the street.
hear you complain about Into the Woods, so just tell me.
All right, well, it was a double feature. Cinderella was first.
Yeah.
Cinderella was super good.
So you didn't like anything in Into the Woods, though?
Okay, well, let me give it. Let me give it fair. Let me talk about Cinderella first.
I don't care about Cinderella.
It was really good.
I'm sure it was.
Into the Woods. Okay, I have to be fair. I watched about the first hour and 20 minutes of it, and I was so bored and I fell asleep.
Oh,
I woke up though, like an hour later, and it's still going, and she's still singing and something. It was a long, long movie, and it's horrible. Like I did not enjoy it at all. It was just bad.
You're crazy.
Now, here's a couple things about it. For one, Meryl was terrible.
I disagree.
She was off. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Meryl was awful.
She's great.
Her voice, Meryl Streep.
She's a witch.
Meryl Streep.
She's great, and she got nominated for an Oscar.
Well, it was terrible. And secondly, there are some musicals I like. But the musicals I like are ones where there's acting and then they sing a song.
There was acting and singing songs.
No, I hate the ones where they sing everything.
That's most musicals.
No, it's not.
Yes.
So not the Rodgers and Hammerstein.
It's a lot of musicals.
Not the Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Well,
not the Disney cartoons.
Wait, I thought Into the Woods is Rodgers and Hammerstein.
It might be, but not like the classics. Like, okay.
No, it's Sondheim. Never mind.
Like, think of Sound of Music and Fiddler on the Roof. Like, there's scenes and they act and then they occasionally sing a song.
But those are movies.
Okay, well, the plays of them are the same way. Mm. And I've seen those and I've enjoyed those. I've seen Fiddler and
I mean, Tracy Ullman's great.
Yeah,
that guy.
Why do they have to sing everything? It's annoying.
She's amazing.
Why?
Anna Kendrick's good because it's a musical.
No,
that's what they do.
It's an opera if they sing everything. A musical is they sing occasionally. Whatever. It's irritating.
I don't want to talk to you about this.
I thought it was terrible.
All right.
But I didn't see it all, so maybe there's some huge twist where all of a sudden all the bad acting.
What about the scene with the two princes? That was really funny.
There was moments, I suppose.
You don't even want to give it a chance.
No.
You're unreasonable.
I came into it probably with a.
Yeah, you did.
You know, the kids. Okay, and the kids like Cinderella better also, without even my influence. So you know, it's good.
But Cinderella was good.
Cinderella was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was probably better than I thought it would be. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be bad, but it was very enjoyable. It was really, really well done.
Well, I already talked about how I've been watching all the WrestleManias.
Yep.
We got Bob's Burgers, Parks and Rec. Oh, wait, no, Parks and Rec is done.
That's old. You're not watching that.
No.
Take it off.
Lucha Underground, I'm like one behind now, but it's amazing.
Okay.
And I'm excited because a bunch of the wrestlers I'm gonna get to see this weekend, and I'm just really excited. I'm gonna see Ricochet, who's like their champion, wrestle like 4 times.
Nice.
And I'm super excited. And then I've been watching Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, give Odenkirk Emmys. Just give him to him.
All right.
It's amazing. You should watch it.
See, I want to, but then I feel like I have to watch through all of Breaking Bad.
No, you don't need to.
Don't need to.
I still think you should, but you do not need to.
But if this is a great show that's on now and I want to watch it now,
you just start watching it. There's enough. Like, it doesn't. I mean, you just have to know that like Saul Goodman was the lawyer on Breaking Bad. It starts off in the post Breaking Bad, then the whole thing is a flashback.
Okay.
And so it takes place before Breaking Bad, and that's all you gotta know is he's a lawyer.
All right.
And Michael McKean's in it, and it's amazing, and it's just really good, and I love it. And it's really funny, but it's just really well done. Again,
I love Odenkirk. I love Michael McKean.
Is amazing. McKean is amazing. They're both amazing. Everything's good. Kroll Show. Watching Kroll Show. I've been saving the last because the last episode I think aired yesterday. So I'm holding on to a couple of those. Probably watch them.
I've been watching through season 1.
So funny,
it's
right?
Amazing, yeah, super good.
It's super great.
Super funny.
I did something because
What is this?
Well, you said this last time, but I had watched a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
But I went the extra mile. You know how I told you I couldn't figure out the New Japan World? I figured it out. So I now am a subscriber to New Japan World. So I started watching so New Japan World goes back to like the 70s.
Okay.
They're supposedly going to put stuff all the way back to like the 50s, which that's crazy.
Wow.
Like if they can find some like because Ricky Dozan's the first Japanese wrestler like he basically was like, if they can find some like Ricky Dozan, that'd be crazy. I'd love to watch it. But so I've been watching a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling because the other cool thing is that they put a lot of their they're basically house shows, and there's no announcers, but it's like this show I watched like 2 house shows they happened like last week, a couple weeks ago, and they're like these small little shows, and it's like I don't know, it's like the most pure form of wrestling you could watch because there's like no announcers and it's Japanese style, and I don't know, I really like it, but it's like a nice like calming thing for me. But
that's cool. So you got it.
But then the coolest one is like, again, it goes back to so they have like, you can watch like all the like old school wrestlers wrestling the big Japanese wrestlers, and so but there's a ton of Andre the Giant matches going all the way back to the 70s, and this was again before. What people don't realize is by the time WrestleMania 3 rolled around, Andre the Giant was at the end of his career. He could barely walk.
Right.
But you watch him in the 70s, dude's throwing drop kicks, he's running the ropes. It is amazing to watch. Like, it's amazing. So I've been watching like all the old Andre the Giant matches, like Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan wrestles as a bad guy in Japan, so that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and then you will know Stan Hansen now that you are familiar with No Holds Barred. Okay. He's the redneck tobacco chewing guy, and he is as big, if not bigger, than Hulk Hogan in Japan.
Really?
So watching him wrestle is awesome. Watching Chris Benoit in Better Times before he killed his family.
Right.
Because he wrestled in Japan. Watching Dynamite Kid, who is now paralyzed. But just watching some of these guys. But like these, so like there was this wrestler Tiger Mask based off of a manga character that New Japan had licensed. But Tiger Mask is credited as basically creating light heavyweight or cruiserweight wrestling, where like you see see Steve Esmeralda saying some jerk in a face group said Andre was as unathletic as Great Khali, who's this Indian guy from India who can seriously barely walk.
Right.
And I was like, all you know is but it's true. Andre, like in his heyday, was amazing.
It's not his fault. He's the biggest and the fastest. He
Yeah.
don't even exercise.
Exactly. So, anyways, we're talking about Stan Hansen, but it's just New Japan.
So you got a new thing.
I've been watching. I feel like I'm wondering, what if I watch enough where I start like understanding some Japanese?
Learn Japanese.
But like right now,
way.
I still love listening to it, but like I have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, I know hi, like they always say, like that's like yes, like hi, because there's one guy where I swear that's his only job is go. The one guy talks, and the other just goes hi, and I'm like, I want to be that guy. I could be that guy. Yeah, because that's all he does. But then but I've talked about this before, but they mix in like English a lot, so they'll be like, and when they do the count, it's in English. Which it's weird, like so they'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then other certain things are in English and everything's out. But then my favorite, I mean, it's famous, is they do like the lariato for like lariat, like lariato, and then spine buster. So I know like those kind of things. Right. I've been watching. So again, I watch old stuff, but then I watch their brand new stuff. Which their brand new stuff, it's probably the best wrestling on the planet right now. And we're talking like they got some of the best wrestlers from America. They got the amazing guys from Japan, and so one of the champion right now is this guy AJ Styles, who WWE has passed on twice, which I still do not understand.
Okay.
And his finisher is called the Styles Clash. But it's really because they'll be like Styles Clash, Styles Clash, and it's then sometimes the translation like on the New Japan. Okay, let me just also say, so I use Google Translate. Google Translate for Japanese is horrible. Like I seriously feel like it is some dude that just types random things. Like especially I use Google Translate on the New Japan website, and it makes it so I can understand enough. But when I try to read things when I try to read the descriptions of stuff, it makes absolutely no sense. It's like #1 game, ready, jokes, like it's just a jumble of words. It makes no sense. And the Bing Translate, because Twitter uses Bing Translate, so I subscribe to New Japan's Twitter because they'll like post when there's new things online, and the Bing one, I swear it is a dude just typing monkey, dishwasher, car, because it's gibberish. Like it's absolute gibberish, and you think I can get better at that, but
it's not. This is tough.
Yeah, so. But I figured it out. New Japan World, it's awesome.
That's cool.
Agents of Shield, I'm one episode behind, but they're doing Inhumans, like it's on.
So it's good, huh?
Have you started watching this season?
No, I'm not. I think I have like one more episode from season 1 still I haven't watched. I'm like behind.
Holy crap!
There's a lot of good shows, as we were talking about earlier.
Well, if you haven't finished season 1 of Agents of Shield, that ends on like the craziest.
Yeah, I haven't.
Crazy.
Speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., while I'm thinking of it, Beyond the Shield podcast with Adam Wells. Let's mention that.
There you go.
So we got it in there.
And then the big one, which we were talking about earlier, but Community is back, and you haven't watched any of it. I haven't
watched any of it yet.
So I can't talk about it, but it's amazing. Oh, I skipped something, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But New Community is incredible. Love it so much, and you need to watch it.
I'm on it. Well, we were gonna watch it last night. And then we wound up watching something else that you recommended first. We'll talk about that.
Well, let me tell you something that I now give my highest recommendation.
Okay.
And this is so again, I am a huge fan of April Richardson.
Yes.
So of course I follow her on Twitter and on Facebook and everything. And like last weekend, all that she was, it was like her and Kumail Nanjiani and a couple other people. All they were talking about was this show, The Jinx, on HBO, and it's a documentary. Now, you may have heard this because it made the news because it's about this guy who is linked to 3 different murders.
I saw that.
Because of evidence that they got in this documentary, they arrested him, finally.
Right. I saw the headline about that part.
When you, just from the first episode, and you realize that this guy was out on the street, it's the most crazy, terrifying, because you're like, this guy killed these people. Because, like, it's like, and it's the most bizarre, nutso thing, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier, till then when they go back, and I don't want to spoil anything, because it's so insane. I could not stop. I started it, I'm like, how, I don't know, because everyone comparing it to Serial, and I listened to one episode of Serial, I'm like,
Right.
But I was fascinated, because this dude, this guy, so it's this guy, Robert Durst, and his family, like, owns, like, half the buildings in New York, is, like, extremely wealthy, and he was married, so it starts where in the 70s he was married to this model, and she just disappeared. And he claims he knows nothing about it.
Right.
And then, like, several years later, this was like in 2000, he was found posing as a deaf mute woman, and he had murdered supposedly accidentally his neighbor, and then dismembered the neighbor. And he claimed, and somehow, this is how crazy Texas is. You want proof that Texas is crazy? Was found not guilty of the murder, because even though he admitted that he basically copped to, I killed him by accident because we were fighting and it was self-defense, but I did dismember the body. And this jury found him not guilty of murder because they're like, we are solely trying him for murder. These people, the whole time you are screaming at the television because you're like, if he dismembered the body, why would he dismember the body if it was self-defense? Why would he do that? And like the prosecutor is basically screaming at the jury, because the defense, though, was like, we're not here to try this man for dismembering a corpse. We're here to try him a murder. But I'm like, guilty people
don't dismember corpses.
Not guilt, like innocent people don't dismember corpses. That should have been the end of this. But no, this jury, and they even interviewed some jurors like now, and they're like, he's innocent.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like Texas, dude. Texas.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, I have to point out here. Steve Espinosa says, and this happened to me because when I saw the headline at first, I thought the same thing. I was like, Durst. I'm like, oh, like, not that guy from the band, like Limp Bizkit or something. And then, sure enough, I guess on Hollywood Babylon, they read it and they thought, for an article from Associated Press, they thought it was him.
But the 6th episode, it's the most I've ever yelled at a television because it's terrifying that, like, because the dude is, it's like looking in the face of evil.
Ugh.
Like, evil, but he's like slick, and it's terrifying because you're like, it just makes you hate the just, because like the fact that this guy is out walking and like people are in jail for like ridiculous, and this dude has somehow managed to, because so then the neighbor died, then this woman who was about to testify in the original wife disappearance, she was about to testify too, because they reopened the case after the Galveston murder.
Right.
She gets murdered in her apartment.
Oh, I don't wonder how that's happened.
But they try, and because she was a mob boss's daughter and she wrote books, they try to be like, oh, the LAPD was convinced it was a mob, even though she had no real connection to the mob. And people were like the friends of the wife, who for years have been trying to get this dude thrown in jail, were like sending evidence and all their stuff to LAPD, like, no, you need to look at this guy, like, it's just like, and then like they genuinely, the juror dude, they keep going back to this interview with this juror who's just like, he just has the worst luck.
Oh god.
And it's like, there is no other person on earth that is even loosely connected to 3 murders that's not good. Like, okay, your wife disappears. That's okay.
Okay.
Your neighbor, you dismember your neighbor who you accidentally, like in self-defense,
that's not bad luck. You don't accidentally do that.
Your friend, because this woman was also her friend, who just happens to about to be testify in the disappearance, she somehow gets murdered. Like,
that's terrible luck.
Oh, he's got the worst luck in the world. And this Texas is this God bless him. This juror is just like, it's genuinely just, man,
bad luck. How do you bad luck dismember someone? That's okay. Take the other two. Okay, maybe.
Plus, this dude is like seriously beyond wealthy, and he's living in a dumpy apartment in Galveston, Texas, posing as a woman. Like,
yeah, there's too many weird things.
It's so crazy.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And then the end, where the sixth episode, I don't want to spoil because it's on HBO, but I don't know. I almost want you to like come over and watch the whole thing with you because you have to watch it because I need more people to talk about it with.
Okay.
And it's so nuts. But it's called The Jinx. But so the sixth episode, they basically like they find like a new piece of evidence, and it's like concrete evidence. Like this is like as soon as I saw it, it was like shocking. And then they show it to like the DEA in New York, and she's just like, "Holy crap!" Like, everybody's like, this is it." Like, and then when they present it to like, they basically like they ambush him in this interview, and he at first like he's still like, and you're just like, ah! Like I'm just like, this is it's just like crazy, but then. If you've read the news, they then like left his microphone on, and he basically went into the bathroom and did a full Gollum.
Well, I was gonna say the Naked Gun move more specifically.
Yeah, but he did but he Gollumed out in the But like it's a thing that he had done before too, and I think maybe they knew that maybe that would happen, but like they didn't find that audio for like over a year, so I don't think they like did it on purpose.
Right.
They just, but like. I think he knew, and I think he was because like he. I think
clearly insane.
I think
to
he
a
was
certain
maybe
degree,
he was just ready to.
Ugh.
It's horrifying though even though I knew because I had already read the news. This thing popped up, but it's time to go to bed. So even though I'd already read like what happened on news, even going into it when it actually it's one of the most horrifying things. It's just. Because this is like real. This is like this dude brutally murdered 3 people, and nobody's like they still don't know what happened to the wife. They never found a body. Like nobody is 100% sure what happened to her. There's a movie. Okay, you know that movie it was called like A Perfect Murder or something. Not A Perfect Murder. Well, there was this movie. The guy that made the documentary. So did you ever see Capturing the Friedmans?
No.
It's disturbing as hell, but it's really good. It's another one of those like. They're trying to do one thing and they end up like, oh, like it's really
totally
nuts. Yeah. So anyways, so this guy after he directed Capturing the Friedmans, he was so obsessed with this case because this is like a well-known case. It's been around since the 70s.
Right.
The missing wife that he made a movie. It's got Ryan Gosling and what's her face, Kirsten Dunst. I don't know if you remember seeing. I remember seeing previews for this. And it's basically they fictionalized this
the whole thing.
But it's like with all his investigation, it's what he thinks the most likely thing that happened, and then he made it into this movie, and then that's how Robert Durst found him. He's like, oh, you guys made this movie. This is about that. This is about, and like then he's like, hey, because this is the craziest part about it. He's like, I want to
be on the show.
Which is just the craziest part of all of it, because he could have not done this, and then he probably would have died a free man.
Well, maybe it was his conscience. Maybe he's just nuts. I don't know.
But anyways,
Crazy Stupid Love.
No. What do you mean?
I was looking up the thing. All right.
So yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so mine, I mentioned earlier, I've been watching Kroll Show, really funny. I'm totally up to date on Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah, I'm like two behind.
2 behind now, because randomly they put up 2 episodes.
But let's talk about the January Jones episode.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched any of it, I guess.
Come on, get with the program.
It's amazing. This show is incredible.
When he shaves his beard and all that.
Oh, and he shows up. Oh. It's so awkward. It's like
It's the most awkward thing in the world, but it's so
perfect.
Great.
It's just oh my gosh. And he's so like you can you so feel his pain because it's not. I like too that like it's not just that she's beautiful and he's not attracted to his wife. It's that he's so irritated with her. She's horrible. She's bossy. She's just like nitpicks and just ridiculous about stuff. And then January Jones is cool and like laid back and stuff. And so you get it. And he's like, it's the worst possible scenario for him because he's been waiting. He thinks he's alone. Then he's like, all right, I guess I have to make this work. There's one other person left on Earth. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and do it.
And Betty Draper shows up.
And then yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. I don't want to say anything else, but you have to watch. We should watch them tonight.
No, I have
to
be at school.
Oh my gosh, it's
I mean,
so
I'm gonna
good.
come in late, but
Every episode is better than the last.
Oh.
It's incredible.
Man.
And they're the worst like cliffhanger things too. When it's over, you're like, I gotta watch the next one.
Because the way they introduced, she was in the like seriously the last shot.
Yeah.
Like they're driving. They're finally like I think he's like. In the second episode, he's like getting accustomed. They're having fun as a married couple.
Making it work.
And then they crash into a limo, and January Jones is in it. And that's the last shot of that episode. You're just like, whoa!
What just happened? Oh, dude. I want to talk about the rest so bad. But anyway, catch up on it because it's amazing.
All right.
Okay, so we did some red boxes. This is actually before we left on our trip. Right? I mentioned.
Wow, okay.
We Janelle got it was on her spring break, so she got a bunch. We watched Alexander and the Terrible No Good Very Bad Day.
Yeah.
It was actually a really fun like family film.
Mm-hmm.
Completely not really. I mean, I wouldn't even associate it with the book because I mean, it's like a picture book, right?
Yeah.
But it's just a fun it's a really funny, fun family film. We were cracking up. The kids loved it. I mean, I'm not saying it's like high art or anything, but it was definitely worth a watch.
Dad.
I'm full dad. But if you have to watch a movie with kids, this is not a bad one to watch. Steve Carell's really funny. It's got Sidney Bristow in it. What more do you want? Also, we got Big Hero 6. We saw it in the theater, but just watched it again, and it was awesome still. So then two new ones. We watched Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see Lucy?
No.
It's the one with Scarlett Johansson.
The whole thing about it just bothers me that the premise is bad.
It is.
Is like bad science because the whole 10% of your brain, that's not even true.
Right.
So just the fact that it's I don't know why, but it just makes me angry.
Well, let me tell you. I would say
But I love Luc Besson, and I love Scarlett Johansson, and
the first 20 minutes, half an hour are really good.
Yeah.
But it's just,
you're saying what everybody's saying.
It just gets really weird.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, okay, so I hadn't read reviews. It just looked cool in the trailer.
That's what everybody says.
It is. It's a wasted premise. It's a bummer to me because it was a really good start, and it just gets stupid. So, do with that what you will. Mm-hmm. But then we watched This Is Where I Leave You. And that's it's an ensemble dramedy. It's got Tina Fey, Jason Bateman, who else is in it?
I don't know.
Tons of people.
Mm.
It's the one where the mom is Jane Fonda. It's the one where their dad dies.
Okay, yeah.
And his last request is that the family all get together and sit Shiva, even though they're not really Jewish. Yeah. And so, anyway, it's just one of those kind of classic family dramedies, but it's really well done. Some really funny moments. Jason Bateman is incredible in it. Tina Fey is really awesome. It's really well done. So I would highly recommend that one, not as a parent, but as an adult movie watcher.
Cool.
So, it was good.
Netflix, more Bob's Burgers. Seriously, season 4 needs to
I know.
Go up now.
I actually, I should mention this. I watched 2 episodes of season 4 on vacation because they were showing it on TV.
Ooh.
So it was episodes I'd never seen.
Oh wow, you got brand new.
So episodes. I got brand new because it was either new episodes.
Because I know I haven't.
4.
I think I got through 18. It was some I was over 3/4 of them, and then they yanked them. So I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I watched 2 brand new episodes,
and they're not on Netflix yet. I guess I could purchase DVDs, but that just sounds.
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Well, I watched them on real TV, so it's good. Anyway.
So good. That's so amazing. But man, best new show. I mean, right up there with Last Man on Earth. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I kind of spaced it out.
Okay.
So like, because I felt like I was like missing stuff if I was trying to burn through them too fast. So I watched like 2 at a time, and then I'd watch 2 the next day, and then watch 2. So I spaced out, but I watched all day. It's so amazing.
It's amazing.
Like we were just talking about the whole thing with like when she joins the like because she joins the like cycle cult, like the spin cult, and it's Nick Kroll as the instructor, and it's amazing. And then freaking Don Draper.
Oh,
John Hamm.
John Hamm is amazing.
As the Reverend.
Well, it's funny as you're talking about,
because you're not expecting, because you see these, you saw a couple pictures of like this crazy. So they intentionally, I think, kept that as like a, and then the fact that the prosecutor is Marcia Clark,
right,
and the other guy from the OJ trial, and like I'm like, how many people don't even get some of these, like, because like unless you get that, it's like, I guess it's sort of funny, but once you get like, because there's so many OJ jokes, and then like
trying on the glove and stuff,
and just, and it's just
Tina Fey
so many levels.
What's the guy that's her, like, I can't remember. He was on SNL for a little bit. Anyway, they're both great. The prosecutors.
Yeah.
But the one that makes me think of the Jinx, because the whole thing of like him presenting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh, he doesn't have a beard. You know, she had this long beard, and he's like, do you see a beard on me? Clearly, her testimony is insane,
and he's like, he's like preaching to
him, like brings a guitar in. And, like,
but then like his like tryout video.
Oh,
like,
dude,
Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I'd like to be in your apprentice.
Videos.
Okay, one of my favorite things though from.
But Werewolf Titus has got to be like the best. Werewolf Titus is like my favorite thing.
He'd rather be a werewolf out on the street. No, my favorite Titus thing though is when his song, his auto-tune song. I'm gonna be famous.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna burn off my skin tags. And he like falls over and farts. And then they have the title sequence guy. Like,
the guy's like, I told, because he warns him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like it is amazing. I love that show. That and Last Man on Earth, like the two best things.
And man, dude, it's just, the cast is amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Titus is like my favorite character. He's so awesome.
I like Dong.
Yeah. And Kimmy. Oh, dude.
Kimmy.
How about, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched it, but their storyline together is
that
awesome.
Little girl, I just cannot believe that's like Sally Draper from Mad Men. We've watched her grow up, and she is legitimately hilarious.
And did you notice what she's playing throughout the season?
No.
She's playing a Nintendo 2DS.
Yeah.
That's her gaming of choice, her game system of choice.
But it's a
Nintendo 2DS specifically. So I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, so then and then I watched you both. Well, I watched it, and then I told you like
we watched it.
So Harmontown, we talked about it on Popsicles, but it's a documentary about Dan Harmon taking his podcast Harmontown on the road and just everything, because basically he gets fired from Community, and then he goes on the road, and then he gets back and finds out he's rehired. So it's that whole journey, and you watch the incredible highs and the incredible lows.
It's amazing.
And it's so good, but also just like him realizing that there's other people that like appreciate him, and just meeting people like him, and the whole Harmontown philosophy, and like when they're just interviewing all the people, and like I connected with that in so many ways, and it also made me appreciate our little Brendo town. I don't know.
Well, and obviously, not to like take away from that, but I feel like that's part of what we've done.
Yeah.
Our listeners are a part of our show. Like, there's characters on our show. Maybe you're not here in the room with us, but everyone knows who Mario is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Craig from the Res is.
Everyone knows who Steve is.
Everyone knows who Steve, Jerry. All these people that are just, part of our show. I think that's cool. And, I think we did that separately. I'm not saying we copied them. I'm not saying they copied us. I think it's a separate thing. But I really, I felt it was one of those movies that inspired me. Like, yes, we need to do our podcast 10 times more, 10 times better. and made me want to write, and it made me want to just like do things and put on shows. It made me want to go on tour so bad.
I want to go on a tour like more than anything.
Like seriously, I realize we're not maybe quite at the point.
I don't think
we're at tour yet, like obviously, but maybe like a backyard show tour of like local states.
I want to do something because that looked, but just I don't know. And then just the whole thing with Spencer, like, because I related to that a lot, where Spencer just got picked out of the audience and then he became their dungeon master, and now he's Dan Harmon's assistant. And just that shot of him where he looks at the camera, he's like, "I'm on Community," like when you see where he's like. I like openly wept for him and like enjoy, but then also like I had that experience. I've said like it's so bizarre, but like I went from being Kevin Smith fan to I worked alongside him and at his theater for a year, and I found myself standing behind him while he's directing John Goodman on Red State, and I had that moment where I'm like.
We were on a podcast at the theater.
Yeah, and I'm just like, holy crap, this is so that, and then like, but then also some of the trials and tribulations that come with that, and, but like, just I don't know, because you were with us when we were in line for something, and we saw Spencer walk by, because Matt's like, that's Spencer. At the time, if I had seen her, I would have probably been like, Spencer. Because he's like my hero.
Yeah, well,
but also like a compete. But like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Now I don't know. I feel like I can relate to Dan Harmon probably like more than anything, a lot of things. Because like I don't know. I just could really relate to that, and just some of the way he like when you have that passion for creativity and things, it's a double-edged sword, and like when you're that passionate about something, and I can relate to that, and then just that sense, the community, and that's also what Community is about, and finding your community and finding those people, and then like like as you pointed out, like every one of these people, these are our people. Like I could hang out with these people, I could talk to them, and I'm like, yeah, like totally, like, and like when they show just the honest, I'm like, yeah, these are our people, and this is our life, and it's cool that I don't know, we've inherited the earth and we're out here, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
It's great, very inspirational. I totally related to his like. Because throughout it, he's also working on pilots.
Yeah.
And so he's like writing, and like I'm supposed to be working on this, and then he'll be like, but first, here's the thing, and he's like,
or he's like, I'm gonna take a bubble bath.
Yeah, bubble bath. and like literally last night, because we're working on a new writing project together, and I told Brent, okay, I'm gonna have some new scenes I'm gonna send to you. And I sat down, I wrote one scene, and then I just fell into this like black hole of watching YouTube videos of old bands from the '90s that I like, and 3:30 rolls around, and I hear Janelle coming down the hallway to go to the bathroom. She's like, "What are you doing? Are you still awake?" And I'm like, "Kind of. I'm doing the laundry, and I get this." And I did. I threw a lot of laundry in late at night, but I basically
that was like your cover laundry.
I got laundry. Yeah, that was definitely my cover load, and I got one scene written. So.
Well, hey, I mean, we're telling the truth. I mean. I spent, because I'm like, I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to have it ready to go when Phil gets here, and like, then I watched like 8 million hours of wrestling, and like watching Kimmy, I watched like all of Kimmy Schmidt, and I watched TV. I basically watched TV, all I did was watch TV and go to class for like a week, and then I'm like, oh crap, I got to do this, because if I get back, and if you get back and it's better, I'm like, we're never going to finish it. So like,
as long as we each get a little chunk done back and forth, then it feels like forward momentum.
Well, it's just I have to keep realizing once I sit down and do it, like it just flows.
Yeah.
But it's just getting to that point.
Yeah. But I mean, I know who knows if anything will ever come of it, but I feel like we're doing good stuff, and it was just watching Harmontown was inspiring and made me think like
totally
like it's something we can do, and.
Well, also because, like, I mean, when you're a creator, you're gonna create no matter what, and I feel like definitely that's Harmon, because he's like, because like he gets fired from Unity. All right, we're doing this. What's next? What's next? You know, I mean, like he had the pilot, like the Heat Vision Jack, which is probably one of the greatest pilots you'll ever watch.
Right.
And that got totally rejected, and he managed to move, and like, but he's like, but you got to keep, because that's when you do, this is what you do. I mean, like, that's the thing that keeps me going through some of this stupid crap with, like, you know, when I had a really bad day, things where I'm like, well, I can get home and I can work on this stuff, or I got this coming up with a podcast. When I'm sitting in class memorizing freaking the colors of the wires in an RG58 cable,
right.
And I'm just like, ugh. But I'm like, this is the means to an end.
Yep.
And that's the way you have to look at it.
So that was a great movie, though. Definitely a good recommendation.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Everybody should watch it.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
If you're remotely into any cool stuff.
Yeah, creativity.
If you are a cool person.
Comedy.
Community and everybody. And
yeah.
This interviews everybody. I mean, it's just,
everybody's in it.
Like most comedians, like Chris Hardwick and all those people. And so it's just funny, like, hearing people talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like... Yeah, the Sarah Silverman one's the best. Like, I think he's the most talented person in the world, and he's like my best friend, and I
fired him. Yeah. So, cool.
All right.
What else?
Let's just do this real quick.
Yeah, it's good. We'll plow through.
Let me tell you, I've put so many hours into Pokemon Shuffle.
That's
so many.
That's pretty much what I played.
To the point where I'm setting alarms
when the next one comes up,
because I feel like if I forget for a while, I'm like, oh, how many more could I have had?
All those hearts.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's so addicting.
And they just added. Well, I'm on
all the new levels.
Well, I'm on 150.
What am I at?
But I went back and captured a ton, but I was stuck on. What are you at? I was stuck
at the 140s.
I was stuck on Mega Glalie.
The purple guy?
The ice one. It was one of the ice ones.
Okay.
It was like a boss ice one.
Yeah.
I was stuck on that for like a week.
Yeah.
Where I went back, I beat all the daily Pokemon. I even started working on the advanced levels. Like I've captured like 4 advanced Pokemon.
Yeah, I've been working through those
too. You get to a point on there where it's clearly like you have to be way.
Yeah.
And it's such a different when you're doing. It's stressful. Like I can play Pokemon Shuffle while I'm watching, but if I'm doing the advanced levels, I have to stop everything.
Right, because you have time.
Did you get in the top 20,000 for that like high score thing?
No, because I couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't upload.
Right, I didn't have access on.
I couldn't get into the top 20, so I didn't. But I got a jewel for participating, but I couldn't get into the top 20,000 to get the Mega Stone.
I didn't ever, like, by the time I would have set up the internet on my thing from
I really wanted Mega Lucario.
Yeah.
Because Lucario on his own is really good, so I'm like, ooh, I wonder what the Mega version's like.
It's ridiculous. It's such a fun game.
I know way too much about Pokemon now.
Yeah. Here's the crazy thing. Like, the other day...
It translates to the actual game.
It does, because we were, like, walking around... Luke pointed... Oh, I know. We went in, like, a comic shop when we were on vacation, and they had, like, a stuffed animal, and Luke's like, oh, is this from Pokemon? I was like, oh, yeah, that's Crespin. And I'm like...
Whoa. What's happening?
Oh, my gosh, I just, like, recognized by sight what a Pokemon was, and I know I'm right, too. Like...
I've played that level a million times.
Oh, my gosh. So, I don't know. Whatever. I'm proud.
Okay. Thing sometimes that game, though... I don't know how I feel like those percentages sometimes are bogus. Because I've had where I'll get it at 2% and then I'll catch it.
Yeah.
I've got it up to 98% and it doesn't catch. And I I'm like, you
liar. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for the most part it kind of tends to.
I feel like there are certain elements where it's like, give us some money and we'll make it better. Yeah. You can keep playing. You can beat this level if you give us $5.
But you can get a lot of play out.
And then there was the big announcement while you were gone. Nintendo is officially in the mobile game business. I feel like these are the paths we're heading down. this was the gateway.
Yep.
It's.
I don't know. I mean,
so the thing that they did say, it sounds like, so they're gonna have, it's brand new games.
Right. It's specifically developed for.
They
mobile
also
devices.
said it's gonna be on mobile, but they think with the new, like, they've also said they might do stuff that's cross-platform.
Right. Well,
and they think the new Nintendo is gonna be a new thing that
links it all. But what I did see, they said, is that you will not be able to play, like, they're not going to do Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get Virtual Console stuff on it.
This is going to be a whole new thing.
So, I mean, at least they've got
I'm
those
just worried.
standards.
So what if they come out with one thing and it makes a ton of, because this has happened to some pretty big game companies where, like, okay, we're going to mess around with this mobile stuff. Then when they realize that it's a freaking gold mine, they then abandon.
Then it just goes.
Like, because the AKI, the guys that made the best wrestling games in the world ever, they were like, okay, we're going to experiment with this mobile thing. They have not made another console game since. And these guys were the best. Like, they sold millions of copies, these guys, and they were like, we're going to do this mobile thing. And then they just, like, it's so easy compared to, like, all the process you have to. So they just were like, yeah, we're not going to make console games anymore. We're just going to do this, and it basically prints money.
I mean, I hope, obviously, that is not where we're headed. I have faith in Nintendo that they will stick to their,
But then what if this enables them? I mean, like.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they do it, if they keep the quality on the consoles and it pays for and allows them to keep doing the other stuff, that's cool. It's kind of, again, it's one of those means to an end. If that's where we're at, that's necessary,
Well, they've created, for me, this is the greatest freemium game I've ever played in my life.
And it's one.
I mean, I was pretty into Candy Crush, but not like this.
No, it's
because, like, seriously, I'm already at 20 hours. I've started playing Animal Crossing and Tomodachi Life again because they're good things to play while I'm playing Pokemon Life, because I can just start and stop that at any given time.
That's what I did on vacation. That's all I played was Tomodachi Life, Pokemon Shuffle, and I did Street Pass Tag.
I've done Animal Crossing, Pokemon Shuffle, and Tomodachi Life. I've been playing a little bit of WWE 2K15, and then I've been maintaining my Clicker Hero. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. So tell me about Tomodachi Life for you. Like, what's going on? You getting more? Have you made some more Miis?
I've done a couple. Mostly, I've just been importing ones. Have you
had a marriage yet?
No marriages yet.
Takes a while. Takes a while.
I've been really pushing because I have me in there and I have Janelle, and we're best friends so far. And we hang out in each other's rooms a lot.
The thing that might happen, because my first marriage, they got married right away and then they got divorced.
Oh, see, that's bad.
And that's bad.
I haven't. I mean, honestly, like you said, mostly I've played Pokemon Shuffle, and Tomodachi Life has been in between.
Tomodachi Life is great though, right?
I need to get yours. I need to get a, because I've only just had the ones that I had in my system so far.
Give you all my stuff.
I do have Nestor
in
there because I already had that from a Nintendo Power one I scanned a long time ago. So Nestor, he's in a panda suit.
Have you made a Mii? I
haven't made
any
one
creations
in it yet. No, it's all just ones that I already had in there. People that I tagged or that I had. I don't know if they made them on my system or some of them I scanned. Just I had my sisters in there and stuff like that. So anyway, it's fun though. It's totally weird. It's exactly what I wanted, and I'll be playing more of it in between Pokemon Shuffle. Now, initially I had said I was able to do 2 hours. Now that I've burned through some of that initial stuff, my average time is probably more like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not
when they came long. The best is when you beat one of those bosses.
Yeah.
And then you can roll through 5 levels in a row, boom, 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 But some of those are freaking those are meant to get you to where you're
I just want to pay for something. Yeah. Now I have the advantage also that I've been tagging Luke and Audrey every day, so I'm getting bonus hearts and coins all over the place.
I feel like there's gonna be a point in WonderCon where you and I are just gonna be sitting there because it's gonna be
so many tags.
I can't wait for Tag Fest.
Yep. Forget
there is also on Saturday, I think, they're doing that Street Pass panel again.
Oh,
we should really go to that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
But yeah, so what else? You got Lego The Hobbit?
Well, yeah, I was playing that with Luke when we got home. That's about it. Again, that's all I've played.
See,
that's awesome.
When you said like your Nintendo customer support emergency, I thought maybe you'd had some kind of 3DS or 2DS emergency on your trip.
No.
Like you ran over your backpack again or something.
Well, I did not have that. However, I'm probably going to have to send my 3DS in to get repaired at some point.
Oh, wow.
Is
it the stick?
It's not the stick. No, it'll power off like randomly. And I've did a lot of searching through the forums.
What are you going to do? How long is that going to take?
Like up to like 6 weeks.
Oh,
something like that, or more.
You went
depending
a
on
week,
what the problem is.
And you were like,
yeah, but I have like my old DS Fat. I have other games.
But no 3DS.
No 3DS. It's gonna be rough.
You're gonna have to time that out too, because you can't have that gone during like Comic-Con.
Well, that's my thing. So the problem is, and I'm pretty sure what it is like there's a ribbon that carries from the lower half to the top half.
It comes loose.
And it like comes loose or something, and I think it's powering off randomly. Like if I snap it open too fast, sometimes it'll do it, or if it like bumps on something too hard. Sometimes when I'm walking around, usually it's not too much of a problem because it powers off, but occasionally it'll like hard shut it down, and it'll actually reset the clock.
Ooh.
So it's like
and that'll jack up your games.
So every time I've done that, and I can go back and fix it.
But Pokemon messes you up, and Tomodachi Life will mess up too.
Yeah. So
Tomodachi Life, when I messed with my clock once, I forgot why, and like the stores were all closed for like 2 days.
Because it like punishes you.
Screwed up.
And so like there was one on Pokemon where it happened, and I had like just gotten to 5 hearts, and I like snapped it open to play, and it shut down, and I was back to 0 again. And I'm like, no. Yeah. So anyway, at some point I'm going to have to get it repaired, but like you said, I can't do it when I'm going to be at a convention. So hopefully, if I'm delicate enough with it, it's fine. But
well, if you wait till after WonderCon, then send it in. You get it back before Comic-Con.
Yeah. Just I'm not relishing
That's 6
the idea.
weeks of not having it.
I don't know.
6 weeks of no Pokemon show. You'd be like, give me that, Luke.
Yeah, the kids both have it. Well, again, I have the DS Fat. I got tons of games for that. I mean, I have Game Boy Advances. I have...
Yeah, but come on.
All this Street stuff. Pass. But, yeah, that's going to be tough. Although, there's one, achievement on the Street Passes, which is get your first Street Pass in it forever or in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gotten it because I'm always getting Street Passes. So... maybe I'll finally get an achievement out of it, if it doesn't wipe my system. So we'll see.
What if they have to wipe your whole system?
Well, that's bad.
What if I want to
have this conversation before I send it.
What if they're like your tags are gone?
No, that's not okay.
You're gonna have your broken teeth.
Yeah, I'll deal with it if that's what it comes down to.
It's randomly shutting off.
It's bad. I mean, again, as long as I'm holding still with it, but it can get bad. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wax nostalgic about all my Nintendo accomplishments. Because that's the thing. I've had this since day one. It's tracked all of my stats. It knows exactly how many hours I've played everything and how many steps I've taken. I can't lose that. What am I gonna do?
I think I'm up to 250 hours on Animal Crossing.
That's a lot of hours.
That's pretty nuts, right?
Yes. But I've got a lot of hours in it, too. In all of my games.
I'm so close to having the full house.
Really?
I didn't even do that in Wild World.
Oh.
I am so close. I think I'm one expansion away.
That's pretty good. That's a lot
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I have to. And I'm I need 3 fish.
I am definitely behind you in that department.
And I've got all the fossils. The art is what
fossils.
drives me crazy.
I don't think I still
because you have to go online.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. I'll be over there and I'm I don't want to get up and go over to the computer. Someone's like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Well, you can see on my phone, if you were to look right now, I think I have 8 tabs open on my thing, of course. And it's walkthrough for this. It's got, pictures of Animal Crossing things. It's got how to get the red bricks on Lego The Hobbit because it's hard to find them. It's basically all the searches for the games I get stuck in when I'm too lazy to walk over to my computer and look up.
Using the web browser on my phone even is like a whole process because it's so slow.
Did you see someone? I can't remember where I saw the article about this guy that got his old Mac, like Apple II something like that. He like did this whole configuration where he got it to hook up to the internet and actually like was able to go on a browser, and it's nuts. You should look it up. I don't know where I found it, but if you look up that,
the first time I ever sent an email was from a Mac Classic. Like those old, the box ones.
Yeah, and maybe that's what he had. So it was whatever it was. It was like 30 years old, and he was able to like jerry rig it all. And
somebody put one of those old Performa commercials from the 90s online. They're like, this is why Apple was almost bankrupt because the commercials were so terrible. And it would be like, just $4,000 for your Macintosh Performa. And they were like so like snobby. Yeah. And I remember as a kid being like. Because I remember one time my mom was like, would you want one of those? I'm like, no, ugh. Well, because I just associated Macs with school.
Right.
And so I'm like, ugh.
Plus $4,000. I mean, I realize that technology has come down in price, but it's $4,000 in like early 90s money.
Yeah. All right. Oh, man, tomorrow's going to suck. But I only have a half day.
That's good. Well, let's get you to bed.
I'm going to reward myself by going to lunch at Olive Garden.
Treat yourself.
Treat myself to unlimited soup and salad and breadsticks.
Ooh, is it soup, salad, and breadsticks?
Well, they always have that at lunch.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, it's unlimited pasta bowl. That's what only comes around every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Did you hear about they gave out like that month, like you could buy the month thing, and that dude wrote a blog about it? I read it. Spent a lot of time. That's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean... I almost killed myself with an all-day eating pass at Universal Studios.
Can you imagine unlimited Olive Garden for a month?
I would die. I literally would. Like, I can't imagine.
The funny thing is most people love... The internet loves to make fun of Olive Garden, and I don't care. I love it.
I don't understand that. I mean, I get...
Because it's not real Italian food.
So what? So when Taco Bell's not real...
And it's like bland.
Taco food or Mexican food, and I like that.
I know.
Applebee's we went to, and I love Applebee's now. I know everyone makes fun of it, but
sriracha chicken.
Shrimp.
Holy cow, shrimp, yeah.
I got my $7 gift card. I got to go back.
I want to go back.
Yeah.
They were really nice there, too.
They were.
That lady, like, with the drinks.
She kept the sodas coming. She gave you a hard time, but it was all playful. She gave you a hard time as she was pouring pitchers of soda.
She wanted to make sure I was serious. I think she was, like, testing.
Yeah, yeah. Do you really want all this soda?
Like, I will drink whatever you put in front of me.
And the manager came over.
It was like with David Kitchener at the ribs place.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, you give me a good tip, I'll keep them coming. Yep.
All right, we gotta get out of here. So make sure you go to radiobrendo.com for all your BrendoMan.com needs. I don't know if you noticed, but starting last episode, there are some advertisements for other Benview shows at the end of this show. Be sure to stick around and listen to them and support those shows. You can go on Benview Network, find all of them. There's a bunch. They're great.
Because they're our pals.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Some of it not so clean.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Eating good in the neighborhood. BenviewNetwork.com. New popsicles just went up tonight.
Nice.
And we didn't fight this time.
Did you get any responses from
people love the whole music?
That was so great.
I just came up with that, man. That came out of my head. But yeah, people that Derek said like right away he got like a couple texts like saying it was great.
That was good.
I'm glad we managed to salvage that. That was my favorite, Derek. Because for some, I think like because of the Benson was on his tablet when I clicked out, he got kicked out too. And Derek, it was Derek and Ted and Jeremy Corbin. Then Ted's like, "I miss you, Derek. I miss you too, buddy." But I got to figure out what's going on with Brendo right now.
Oh, that's good.
It's classic. Pretty great. So this episode, we actually did a March Madness Best Animated Movie bracket.
Nice.
That was actually really fun.
Like, of all time?
It was like I don't know, Derek kept saying it was the last 20 years, but then like Pinocchio was in there, so it was like just basically...
Selectively, of all time, okay.
So that was fun. and we had Disney Adventures. So
nice.
This is good classic popsicles.
All right.
And talked a lot about Community. So
that's good.
If you want,
I need to catch up there.
What else is going on? BraxComics.com.
Is there still?
Yeah.
I slacked on vacation. I realized. That's what I do.
I'm gonna do it. I got a bunch. Anyway, so BraxComics.com, and that's about what's going on right now.
That's good.
Anything else? WonderCon, don't forget.
Yeah, check that out.
Check out Brian Apodaca, Ghost Outlaw.
Maybe that's his like spin-off.
Well, he actually has another comic that he's working on, but it's totally different.
Under wraps?
No, he gave the name of it, and now I forgot it, so I'm being a bad. Next Man Up, that's what it's called.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, well, anyways, go to Zombie Outlaw. If you're at WonderCon, go to Zombie Outlaw. It's at Small Press 001. And if you're just a person on the internet, go to zombieoutlaw.com.
We're all just people on the internet.
And you might not. Some people don't have internet, man.
Well, how are they listening to our show then?
Maybe that somebody gave it.
They copied onto a cassette tape.
Remember when Janelle was burning CDs and
podcasts
to listen to in her car? Maybe somebody did that and then they found it.
Hey, do that. If you have a friend that can't listen to our show, please feel free to burn it to a CD and give it to them.
Because if somebody can't listen to the show, they probably have a CD player then.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're maybe they're in the in-between stage.
Maybe if they have a cassette deck, how many 90-minute tapes would it take to get one of our shows installed?
Oh, man. A lot.
Yeah. It would be like one of those book on tapes cases, where you got like 6 episodes.
We are really good at talking.
We could just keep doing it. You need to go to bed. What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't care what's going on over there. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? Because I'm not going to retain anything. I'm going to sit there with the practice test open, but I'm going to be listening to the Blaze. I'm going to be reading whatever articles are entertaining and arguing about wrestling on Reddit. That's pretty much
a good day.
What I'm doing. I always wonder, when people, I'm going to see what BrendoMan's up to on Reddit, and then you look at my activity, and it's just all, me writing, paragraph missives about wrestling.
Sounds about right.
There's a Brendo Reddit. Maybe we should revive that.
Huh.
I don't know. Just thinking about that. I don't know if anybody's into Reddit and is interested, hit us up, and maybe we'll start doing stuff on it.
All right, that sounds good.
Because I made it 6 years ago when they started doing subreddits, and a couple of us were posting things on it for 3 days and then forgot about it.
Well,
I feel like that's everything.
Let's
do this. And then
whatever.
It's I got this thing.
Just throw it out there and whatever sticks, if people are into it.
That's how it works, man.
That's right.
All right. Anything else?
Thanks for listening, everyone. You guys are awesome. Thanks for your supports. And send us an email and tell us what's up with you, and we'll talk about it.
What up with that?
What up with that? Ooh-wee. Send us an email. Send us an email. Or whatever.
Ooh-wee. I want my coins. My Nintendo coins. Now we're just singing songs about dumb things.
And I got them. I had to physically mail in a thing to get coins.
Knowing how much you love your video game boxes, were you crying?
It was a big. The lady at the front desk at the hotel probably thought I was a total weirdo. I'm I gotta do this just right. And I brought in a Wii U game into the front office at the hotel, asked for scissors, and then I'm like, "Do you have paper? Oh, do you have a pen I can borrow? Do you have an envelope?" And they gave me the whole thing. They're really nice. Also, I could get 80 points.
So you could get that Game Boy game.
That's right. And now I have it.
How often are you going to play that game?
I don't know. The other Donkey Kong ones I really like, so.
Yeah, but how often do you get to play, any of those?
Lots.
You have, a million games.
I have a lot of games. But see, this has been a big burst of getting a lot of games with the close of Club Nintendo. Probably going to be a little bit of a lull now while I catch up, is what I say.
All right, on that note, for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody. See, new. Let's do a short one.
It is. It's only 3 hours.
I'm so tired.
We've done a lot longer shows. Like 4 hours.
I already signed my hours for tomorrow.
Oh, you should. I don't know. Do what you should do.
What if the lady comes?
Yeah. What if you don't want to mess it up?
I don't want to go.
It's not that long. It's only 1 o'clock.
I have to be there. I'm supposed to be there at 7, but that's not gonna happen.
That's short.
That's short.
Is it a 6-hour day?
4.
Oh.
7 to 11, but I probably will maybe make it like 8 to noon or 8 to 11.
Can you do that? Can you go in later?
I can go in and do whatever I want. They don't care as long as we write down the hours and then they sign it. And like I said, I already wrote down the hours and he already signed it.
Well, so as long as you do 4 hours, right?
Yeah. I wanted to be done early tomorrow because I got to clean out my car and I got to pack.
Because you're leaving the next. What time do you leave on Thursday?
I gotta be in Cyprus at 10, so probably leave here around 8.
Right.
I don't know.
You got a lot to do.
161.
Yeah.
162.
That's what we on.
No, I had it. 162.
162. There's a question in the chat that I didn't see, but what season of Bob's Burgers? Season 4 is not available anywhere easily, right?
Well, I know where I could watch it, but I haven't resorted to that yet because I want to watch it.
It's not a legitimate thing, right?
Because season 4 is not on Netflix, and they took it off Hulu Plus.
Right.
That's the part that really makes me mad. Because I'm like, what are we paying for? Why did they take things off of Hulu Plus? They should never take things off of Hulu Plus.
I have Hulu Plus because we got a sampler thing, although I think it might be expiring because we got like a bunch of free ones from Monopoly at
Well, you got it on Voodoo.
What's that?
That's a thing that's on most TVs.
Oh, okay. I might have that.
If you want to do that, I would take you up on that, Andres. I would really appreciate it.
Of course, you're going to be gone.
Well, I'll watch it when I get back.
Good.
You could watch it.
It's true. Do I have Voodoo?
I'm sure you have it on.
It's got all kinds of stuff on there.
There's TV, maybe even the Wii U.
Maybe.
No, I don't think Wii U has Voodoo. I know your TV has Voodoo.
Okay.
Because that's on like everything. You didn't get any. You were on Flickster because they were just giving away movies. I have like 15 movies that I got for free.
Really?
Because oh man, I should have got you in on that. They got this like Warner Brothers thing where you're supposed to do surveys, but I never did them. Like they're like every couple days I'll get like this, come join our Warner Insiders,
right.
And I'm like and then I never do it. But then I still got like the Christmas gift. And like here's 6 free movies on your Voodoo on your because they're like because it's Voodoo's tied to that other thing.
Which other?
Like when you buy a Blu-ray and it comes with the on-demand thing. So I've got all the Batman movies. I've got like all the Austin Powers movies. I got like a ton of. I just got that Blended.
Oh yeah.
And some other stuff.
That's worth a watch.
I got both Mortal Kombats.
Nice.
Mars Attacks.
Oh, ooh, that's an unsung Tim Burton.
Oh,
movie
absolutely it is.
That's a great movie.
Tom Jones.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Lisa Marie.
Lisa Marie is Martin Short.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to say next.
It's great. So good.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
So good.
It's good. Good movie.
Jack Nicholson.
Yep. Everybody's in that movie.
Tons of people in that movie.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
Isn't it Patrick Fugit, the kid from Almost Famous?
Maybe.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
I don't think it is Patrick Fugit. I think it's somebody else.
Yeah.
It's another kid.
I don't know. Can't think of him now. But it's a good movie. Good movie.
And I'm going to look now because I know I have to know. I also have to know what that movie was that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
This is like the bonus Okay, so
Helicopter. Okay, I don't need to look this up, but apparently Nia Vardalos is in a new movie called Helicopter
you're like
Mom.
really into this Helicopter Mom.
I'm gonna watch Helicopter Mom.
I'm not gonna watch.
We should watch the trailer. No. You should have to watch the trailer.
No. So this guy directed this, and it's All Good Things. This.
All Good Things.
With Ryan Gosling and what's her face, Kirsten Dunst. So it's the story. So Mr. David Marks is suspected but never tried for killing his wife, who disappeared, but the truth is eventually revealed. So this is basically from the evidence what he thinks happened. So, but in fictional movie form, and then Robert Durst is like, "Hey, I saw that movie, and
that's
hey,
totally me, right? I'm the guy that killed my wife."
Crazy.
Phil Baker Hall,
Nick Offerman,
Kristen Wiig.
I want to watch this now. Whoa. It's on Netflix.
Have you not seen it?
No, especially now that I've watched. Now that I've watched.
Joe Flaherty? Did I see there?
Where?
I think I saw Flaherty in there.
You probably just. I was going fast and
Lanny Flaherty. Okay.
Well, anyway. Wait, what were we gonna do? Oh yeah, what was I looking at?
The other one you were looking up was.
Crap, I already spaced.
What were you looking at? Dang it!
What are we talking about?
You were gonna look this up.
I looked this up, but there was something else I wanted to look up.
Something about Helicopter Mom, I think?
No. I saw that when I went to IMDb. I was going to look up a kid.
Oh, Mars Attacks.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh my gosh. What are we doing? It's 1:20 in the morning. And I'm looking at them. We're going to fall down an IMDb hole. That's the hole you can't get out of.
All right. Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito.
Kid.
Lucas Haas.
It is Lucas Haas. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, real quick. Then you just gotta watch it. I want you to. Jack Black, Pam Grier. See, everyone is in this movie. Christina Applegate. Rance Howard. All right, do it. You gotta do it. Just real fast. We gotta see it.
Why?
Because I want to see the trailer for Helicopter Mom.
Did you see this trailer? Because this trailer is awesome.
That looks amazing. Mission Impossible.
Although, Ralph Garman just talked about in the Showbiz Beat how they have this trailer is out. They don't have an ending.
Really? Not done?
Well, apparently they had an ending and it tested so poorly that they're now redoing the end. And like this trailer is out. Like this movie is. So yeah, who knows what's gonna happen?
All right, Helicopter Mom, starring Nia Vardalos. We're gonna watch this on YouTube.
This is from 2014.
And I have to be in it. Yay! Let's pause for a moment and remember the day. For me, the moment you popped out of my cooch.
Oh. My mom has what I like to call a polarizing personality.
We just have a really close relationship. Oh, tattoos! Let's get matching tattoos.
Oh, yes, that's just what I've always wanted.
Really?
No, not really.
Yeah.
What's happening after this? Prom, then graduation, and then you're gone.
I'm going to college. I'm not signing up for a tour of duty in the Middle East.
What am I going to do about Lloyd's financial aid? She's not a minority. They
Oh.
have tons of scholarships for minorities.
There it is.
Scholarships for gays. Really?
Congratulations.
No.
What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for telling the whole school I'm gay.
This is a bad one. At least she cares.
Yeah, she cares a little bit too much.
You're creating a fake profile for pure young men online for Lloyd.
This must be Lloyd. Hello.
Oh my god.
Catch Predator.
Prom court, my formal court, Sadie's more. This is a boring pageant.
You're not
This is
gay.
offensive and horrible.
Creepy. I hate everybody trying to put a label on me. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. All I have is this crazy mom.
I've been here for 17
This
years.
Helicopter Mom.
You wouldn't at all be interested in maybe going to Problem with me?
I thought you liked boys.
You're the girl trying to steal my son away from me.
You keep this up, Lloyd is going to eat you. There's nobody else here who is sabotaging their kid's life like you are mine. I have no idea if I'm gay or straight. It's 2014, being gay is cool now.
Boy, Cooper.
Our love is written in the stars. I'll never be far away, never let go. Our love is written in the stars. I'll never be far away, never let go.
I ask you a personal question. What gives you a boner?
And I'm 17. Everything gives me a boner.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god. That movie got made.
Why are we making movies?
If a movie like that got made, then how come we can do this? We can write something, because I know what we're writing is better than that, right?
With Mia Vardalos.
Oh my gosh. Big Fat Greek Wedding was really good. I liked that movie. And I actually didn't mind that one she did with
Sleep Pace's birthday.
oh, happy birthday. That she did with like where she went to Greece when she was like the tour guide
What?
in Greece. I can't remember what it's called.
No.
It was probably dumb. Probably everyone would make fun of me for saying I liked it. But it had Richard Dreyfuss in it.
That does not help.
Mia Vardalos and Richard Dreyfuss. It was pretty good.
Because Richard Dreyfuss has confirmed that I don't think he's done a movie out of passion for a role since
Probably
like
not.
1987.
But it was alright.
He's turned into like full on just like ultimate crotchety
Yeah. Oh,
dude. Like I feel like he just hates everything and everybody now. I mean, I don't know. The shark did something to him.
He's gonna need a
And
bigger
I'm
lawn for people to get off
just
of.
judging by his personality and Bill Murray's personality. I feel like there must have been some like serious clashes on What About Bob.
Yeah.
Just judging
Just
from
the
those
of them being
two.
all- Yeah. That's a great movie though.
Oh, it's so good. What is this?
Child 44.
I don't know what any of
I don't
these
know.
movies are.
It's crazy that Tom Cruise, almost the Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible trailer still looks like barely older than he did like in the first Mission Impossible.
Oh, he's on some kind of crazy. Who knows what he's doing?
It's insane, right?
That's on. I think it's gonna be like a Casey Kasem situation. I always say Casey Kasem, which he's. How old is he?
No, didn't he? I thought he was like.
No, you're talking about Dick. You're thinking about Dick Clark.
No, Dick
We're all
Clark.
talking about Dick Clark.
No, but Casey Kasem is like sick. Isn't he the one that like he was like missing or something like that? Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
No, I don't know. I think now that I don't know. But Dick Clark like was like pristine,
Yeah.
and then he just cracked all at once.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna happen to like him
How old is he?
and Tom Cruise. He's at least 50.
I think he's older than that. Maybe I don't know.
Well, no, because he was like young when he started, like really young. So I think he's like
50s.
I don't know, but now that I'm thinking about it, we're about to find out. But is that real?
Well, that's true.
62,
So he's
52.
53.
53,
Well, almost 53.
and I don't know, man. You could maybe add like a couple years to that.
Yeah, that's.
Who knows?
Okay,
Who
but
knows
then
that's
what's
real?
totally not fair is you look at him and then look at like, what's his co-star from like Tropic.
Oh,
Days
dude.
of Thunder. What's her
Well, you
name?
watched like Kelly McGillis and
Yeah, I mean like it's just not fair.
yeah.
It's not fair.
Taps. Remember that movie?
Legend.
Legend is awesome.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Also, wasn't that like one of the last movies that What's Her Face from Ferris Bueller was in? Because like, what is she? Mia Sarah.
Mia Sarah.
She like isn't in anything.
Yeah, what is she in? Well, she's in stuff.
She has a daughter with Brian Henson.
Dorothy and the Wishes of Oz.
Okay. Guess I haven't.
Just not in big stuff.
Tinseltown. Birds of Prey. Oh, she was Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. I remember that.
Huh.
That show didn't last too long. Lost in Oz.
There was a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea remake.
I don't see what this is. Look at what we're doing right now. And this is live on Google. Okay, come on.
We did fall into the thing is we said, we're gonna fall into an IMDb.
Oh, what's me and Sarah doing? What are we doing right now? What is happening?
I didn't know they remade 20,000 Leagues.
All right, good night, YouTube. Seriously, we're turning this off for your own good, for all of our own good.
Good
Good night.